So you have come towards the climax of your little adventure. You returned to the safe reaches and met up with the church. How about somebody recap what happened in the last session?
Well, I suppose we met with a bunch of people from the church who informed us they've been sort of watching us and, are pretty impressed with how badass we are.
Mm-hmm.
Reasonable. So, yeah, they are telling us that they know that this alien invasion is coming and they have a certain amount of planage done, assets that we can activate to help us.
Indeed, and
they are the screen.
Exactly.
Mountain Barrage, Sleeping Titan, Ultra-Terrestrial Beacon, Desert Armory, and Causal Splitter.
Mm-hmm.
And we've already done the Ultra-Terrestrial Beacon, where we relived all of our previous exploits in fast-forward, high-action mode. And he gave us a wink and a thumbs up, so we figure he's probably fine and on our side now. Then we got spat back out of that dimension, and now we're off to somewhere else. Probably the armory, was it?
Yes. Yes, you requested them to set up the warp to take you there next. When you're done, so basically, having successfully summoned now Priley, the extraterrestrial being, you return to the chamber. I'll just kind of go through this quickly, and they're all very impressed with the feat of activating this beacon and contacting the guy who they had. Well, none of the living ones had any. None of the living council members had any contact with him before, so it was quite a feat to be able to not only get in touch with him, but also recruit him so quickly. Well, you hope, to your side. So there's some glad handing around that. You will have you took some time beforehand to get hold of your ciphers and whatnot, so you are all geared up correctly. And now they take you, they pile you into a carriage. You go thundering through the city, this time by a kind of back route, so you don't have the cheering crowds that you had before. And they take you out to a spot somewhere outside of the city, which is obscured by a artificial grove of these tall, like glowing leafy tree type things. It's a large clearing, and there is some obelisk type kind of monuments set up around it, which are currently glowing and humming, and they have components kind of floating around them in a kind of magnetic style, and kind of reconfiguring and getting ready to warp you. There's a few staff attending to some control panels. They just quickly go over again the details of where you're going. So it is the armory, which is located in the south. It's reported to be a large facility containing many war machines, which will be useful to equip the army and forces of the safe reaches in order to try and repel this invasion. However, up until now, it has been locked, and they haven't, they haven't really tried to unlock it as such, because they would only do that in a situation like this where it's actually needed. Nonetheless, it may prove a challenge to get in and both somehow take control or command of these vehicles if that's required, and also to open the facility up so the forces can go in and get all of their sweet gear that you're going to secure for them. So you all get kind of gathered up in this warp pad type thing. Well, I'm thinking that just as this happens, like I'm just thinking about how to introduce Stason and Shaq. So this is all being done on behest of the church, an extremely powerful organization in this world, which basically, has access to all of the resources and technology and so forth. And they know of Stason. Previously, he had been driving the Stason-mobile and traveling with the group, but he disappeared at the point where they crashed into the spaceship. So at this point, it could be that you just roll up in some kind of vehicle or otherwise, possibly with Shaq in tow, or if you prefer prefer, you could wait.
Great.
Okay, cool. So, cool. So in that case, yeah, you're all set up and whatnot, and then, yeah, you can, make your entrance basically, and you can decide whether it's something that the church would have known about, or whether it's just, you're just turning up completely out of the blue together.
No, I think they let me know that I needed to go and pick him up, basically, because, a bit of a transporter.
All right. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. All right. So despite only let's see. Actually, they did the battle. They flew back and then they rested up and did that rally. So actually, I guess it will have been kind of almost a day since you left them. So I guess in that time you have ventured across the lands in search of the Shaq is. How do you reckon? Like, basically, do you think you'll be someone who's known to the church and kind of working with them, and possibly, a kind of powerful and well-regarded agent of them, or is it just like he's basically just kind of stumbled into this new?
The church kind of found me through the basketball cult that was sort of running my region, and I was the biggest and strongest of them all. So they invited me to come and work with them.
All right, very nice. So
the scheme is called Hoops for Hope, I think. Or Hopes, I don't know.
So, yeah. So okay. So yeah, it sounds like Stacey will have been sent off to collect him, and you turn up just in the nick of time as the group are about to head off. So describe how you make your entrance.
I mean, we pull up at great speed into a handbrake sort of turn, skidding halt, and basically just exit the vehicle, leave the doors wide open, as if we're never going to use this vehicle ever again.
And then I reckon
we've done this many times before, but we clearly haven't.
I reckon there's a cool, slow motion long shot of you getting out of your car with dust, swirling around you, and you're striding in slow motion towards the camera.
As he approaches, I'm I look scared at first, and then I'm like, there's only one guy we know who can drive like that.
And then just from Stacen's direction, you hear, "Hello, snake tits."
Jason! I run up to you and I give you a really big hug. Like a bear snake hug.
Stacen doesn't even flinch, but he gives you a little pat on the back.
I like to think Critton's doing kind of the equivalent of doing a too hard handshake. And he's just yeah, it's so good to see you, as he's basically constricting him. But I'd imagine that Stacen just shrugs it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing that.
You can tell he's rattled, but he's not going to show it.
Rattled.
Yeah.
I picture that as being kind of the I'm hugging you, but I'm hitting you. Masculine, when you hug your bro and you smack him on the back real hard.
And where is Shaq in all this?
So Shaq actually was riding with Stacen. When we pulled up in that sports car, I let him have his entrance, and it's a sports car, so it's real low slung.
Yeah.
So when I open the door and step out into the dust cloud, you see just a man unfolding from 4 feet up to 7'2", and he says, "I heard you needed some help kicking alien ass."
So I look up and up and up.
How's Shaq dressed?
Shaq is dressed in a basketball jersey that says Orlando Esotery.
Please.
And it's kind of tattered but glowing. It's clearly he's been through some shit. But it's his basketball jersey is also the cloak of golden feathers, so it's a pretty special little thing.
Oh, awesome! Oh, nice. I like that.
He's got gigantic, enormous shoes that are also the boots of jumping.
Awesome, nice. And how does he carry his basketball? Does he have a net carrier thing on his back, or does he just bop it around as he's moving?
Oh, he dribbles
under one arm. Or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's just constantly dribbling. That's just good practice generally.
Nice. I like to think he's like his dribbling is like part of it's like an extension of his facial expression, basically. Like if he's excited, he's like dum 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 dum. If he's like chilled out, it's like.
Oh, you
Yeah,
mean basketball? I
and-
thought he
and the
was
ball
like
is also-
salivating dribbling.
The ball, that's when the ball starts drooling. So the ball also is like a glass sphere with like a metal sphere inside of it, offset to the side a little bit, and it is even though it's glass, it bounces really well, and that's the exciting esoteric part of it.
Nice. All right.
So I'll say to Stace, who's your massive friend? Here.
You can call me Big Diesel.
Okay.
You could call him that, but his name's
Nice. All right. So as you're speaking and doing your introductions and stuff, the monolith type things around you are already humming and whirring, kind of crackling to life, and the let's say it does the thing where kind of you feel this kind of static like slightly anti-gravity kind of force around you, and little stones and pebbles and stuff are starting to lift up from the ground, and let's say the kind of green helmeted technological looking lady is in charge of the kind of controls, and she shouts out, "There's no time, and remember, you have to..." And that is when you get warped. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like being exploded, basically. It's not a particularly pleasant experience as your view of the world around you kind of compresses into a point, and you feel a great shock of kind of force as and there's a moment of this intense kind of spinning like you're in a centrifuge or something, which is very disorienting, and then all of a sudden you feel and kind of see a bright light and heat rushing towards you, and then with a similarly unpleasant and rather violent kind of implosion, you find yourself thumping onto desert sand with the sky above you is bright and cloudless, although with a curiously kind of pinkish intense neon kind of set to it. In fact, as if you look up towards the sun, it almost seems to be glowing a kind of bright green through some kind of atmospheric disturbance. Let's see. Okay, I'm not going to put you on the next screen just yet. So basically, as you... Well, you're basically in the desert as you thump down. Any particular reaction to this suddenly getting warped and dumped unceremoniously down into the desert dust? Let's say who, in fact... just for fun, let's everyone make me a kind of acrobatics or I guess balance roll. So this would be speed, difficulty, let's say 5.
Do you reckon Minim would have some advantage on being warped somewhere?
Yeah, definitely. In
I've
fact, he'd
got-
be specialized in that, I think.
I've got an inability for balance.
Yeah,
I'm super
let's
fast,
have that.
but I'm bad at balancing.
The big man takes a tumble.
Right.
What was the difficulty?
5.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I hope I'm doing this right. Let me know. Oh no.
Oh, by the way, will we reset from the previous thing?
Sure, yeah.
I cannot remember how to do this. So I've set my difficulty 5.
If any training
How
or
do I
specialization.
Oh, you click the... Right, okay, so this is a speed one, right? So the green one, not the red one, right?
No, it's the red one. So you plug in your stats, the difficulty and effort and all that kind of stuff, and then you click the red dice next to the relevant pool. So in this case, it's going to be next to speed.
Oh, okay. All right, let me fix mine then. Good.
All right, so the big man does indeed take a tumble. Minim,
I think you kind of...
Yeah, I hit the green dice by accident, but
I
think I
think
fixed it.
Shaq, Blaze, you put it on inability. I don't think you would have an inability to balancing and stuff, no?
Yeah, he does actually. It's part of
Yeah.
the swift characteristic.
I see.
So it's like he's fast, but I figure because he's so big and because he moves so aggressively,
Right.
maybe it's just that enemies instinctively try to like trip him up. because the bigger they are, the harder they fall and stuff like that. Okay, so Shaq goes tumbling down into the dirt. Minim, I'm gonna guess. Actually, no, you do that thing where you just like appear and you just like stay perfectly upright, basically.
Like appears upside down, but then rotates
Yeah.
completely impossibly on the
I
spot.
like to imagine it's just like kind of a Gary's mod kind of thing,
Yeah.
where your model just doesn't have any falling animation. You just like, yeah. Cool. So there's that.
What happened with my roll there? I did not mean to spend any points. I put 0, but it's
It's really weird. You have to click outside the box that you put things in a few times, otherwise it doesn't update properly. It's really weird. Just let's see.
So that
You'd have
effort
beat
should
it
have been
anyway.
0, I think.
You'd have beat it anyway. So just refund the points.
All right. Okay. There we go. Cool.
All right, so Stason and Nye, you land properly. And
I safe plant.
3-point landing.
Nice. And all right, so Barracks is just like, I imagine this thing where like you face plant and it's that kind of like physical comedy thing where like if you were normal shaped, like your back would be kind of bending back and your feet would be hanging down in front of your face, but like because you're this huge snake naga thing, just like you have this big coil of like snake that just like thumps down to the ground around you.
I'm gonna look over and observe the 3-point landing and say, "Oh, that makes sense. I never could do 3-pointers."
Hey.
All right, so the dust is swirling and settling around you. It is extremely hot, not like unsurvivably so, but it's probably like in the range of like 40 C or more, which I don't know, that's like 100 plus in Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
And so you look around you, and what you immediately notice is basically, so the area immediately around you, let's say, 100 meters or so around you, is this kind of, like a little salt basin type thing. So it's kind of flat and dry around you, in the larger area, kind of around to your, like everywhere from west through north, east, and south is basically kind of broken ground desert with some mountains in the distance. However, to your in the kind of southwesterly direction, what you see is a giant crater, which is actually, I'm not going to put you on the screen just yet, but let me measure it. Oh shit. I hate how if you're zoomed out, you can't actually read the flipping meter thing. All right, so this crater seems to be about a couple of kilometers across, and it's rather strange. It's so the desert is like sandy soil, basically, but as you look out over the, so your situated kind of at the rim of this crater, basically, and as you look out over the crater, you see that the surface of it is basically glass, or glass-like. It's not smooth and kind of bowl-like, but it's kind of almost like it's been burned out of the sand. There is also sand kind of covering it that's obviously been blown into the crater, so this was, but it's not, it's kind of largely uncovered. So, No, I'll just give you this. So you can basically tell that the crater was formed not that long ago, like certainly not on like a geological scale. You're guessing from the sand and dirt and stuff, the level of it that's in there. So it was probably formed not more than like a decade ago or a few years, something like that.
Nice.
You also see the wrecks of quite a large number of, war machines, basically. You'll have been familiar with the concept of those from your adventures in the kind of Insect City and seeing the great tanks and mechs and things like that that are available to people in this age. A lot of these ones, again, they're wrecked and destroyed, but again, it doesn't seem to have been all that long ago that this happened. In fact, you can actually see kind of some Actually, no, maybe not smoke, but some of them basically seem pretty fresh, like maybe even in the last couple of weeks or so. So that is the immediate sight that befalls you. Actually, hold on.
Oh.
I want to put you on the screen, so let me just do something first.
So what we're thinking is there's probably a good reason no one's accessed this armory for a long time.
Yeah, it's all dusty.
Can I use my prodigious height to look around and see if there's anybody living?
Sure. Sorry, just 1 second. Just moving some icons out of the way. All right, so I'm going to put you on the screen. Might take a little second to load in properly.
Okay.
So you're located up in the top right, and
Okay.
I've handily put a crate icon to represent the party, called Wardens.
This is dope.
So the crater is the large area to your southwest, taking up most of the map. And yeah, so Shaq, give me a perception roll. So this is going to be intellect.
Oh no. Okay.
But let's say you have an asset because of your great towering height.
Okay. One asset, and then do I have to set the difficulty as well?
Let's say it's difficulty 3.
Let's see how I do.
Nice. All right. So you survey this. It's not actually all that deep of a crater. Although it's a couple of kilometers across, it's let's say maybe a couple of 100 meters deep, and the sides of it are relatively shallow as they slope into the central area. You do not see any signs of movement or any real evidence of living beings as such. However, as you raise yourself up, as you raise yourself up on your tippy toes, you think you maybe see something just peeking up above the far side, the rim of the far side of the crater. So can you do anything to increase your height advantage and get a better look?
Oh, I can fly. I just straight up
Indeed.
can fly.
So go ahead and describe how you, if there's a cost associated with that, then just subtract that from the relevant pool and then just describe what you do.
All right, it costs 4 might, so I'm going to pull that out of my pool. And,
Although that, basically your edge acts as a discount on the total of any time you spend stuff from your pool. So what's your speed edge?
This is might, and
sorry.
it's 4 might points, but I have 4 might edge. So is that a freebie?
It is indeed.
Okay. I will take off in flight. Like once I've kind of stretched out my whole frame to see this kind of portion of what I want to see, I say, over there. And then I kind of gather my enormous body down into a squat and then just leap flying into the air, doing a windmill with my ball to help balance me.
Sorry.
It's kind of keeping me from falling over with this incredible
Nice.
height that I'm getting. And I just fly into the air. I can fly straight
Nice.
up for an hour.
I imagine there's like a little shock wave of dust as you take off, and like a trail of dust going up after you. How does anyone react to that?
I look up and say, I believe he can fly.
Spaceman turns to Varix and says, "He's at it again." The whole way here, he's doing that in the car.
Nice. All right. So, Shaq, as you go flying up into the air and get a height advantage, you can get a better look over the far rim of the canyon. What you see is basically you see the tops of some kind of strange-looking towers, basically. Just as a quick interlude, what kind of like environment did you grow up in this basketball cult? Like, what was the kind of level of tech, basically?
It was very minimal. It was kind of just a village, but it was secluded in kind of a sort of a Tibet kind of way in the mountains and the tundra.
Okay, yeah.
So we became a very hardy and tall race of people. So it very, like, Shaq has not seen a lot of the world except for in the brief interlude between leaving the basketball cult and being employed sort of for a temporary time with the church.
All right, I like it. So, so since then, it's basically been like a tour of wonders of all this. Like, I mean, you will have been aware of the presence of kind of, ancient, God-wrought things kind of across the landscape and so forth. But obviously, they're, even by most people in the land, even in the safe reaches, and even to an extent the church, they are, regarded as, because they essentially are, god level items and artifacts, which for the most part you have no particular idea how they were made or how they work or what they do, but they're generally regarded as being amazing and astounding. In the past few days or something, you've seen all manner of things, the like of which you've never seen before. You are truly on your world tour, and
Imagine Staten was singing "I Can Show You the World" while they were driving.
Usually at great speed indeed. But anyway, as you look across the canyon, what you're seeing is basically, so I guess it would look to you maybe like some kind of large, strange temple or facility or something. It clearly looks very advanced. It has a number of large buildings and towers and things, and also some extremely large kind of paved paths or roads kind of weaving in and out of it. It seems it doesn't seem active, basically. You don't see any immediate signs of movements. Several of the buildings are kind of damaged, or a few of them are even kind of collapsed. And let's say you can notice that they seem to have been kind of buffeted or assaulted with some kind of great force, some kind of powerful magic, and where some of them are kind of broken or buckled in, they seem to be doing that in a direction away from the center of the crater, as if whatever damaged them is the same force that created the crater.
I'll swoop down from my high perch in the air and relay this information. Mostly, I'm gonna indicate, over there's a road. Might be easier traveling.
Yes. So, okay. So, what you've seen this scene. What is your initial assessment of it in relation to your goal here?
I'm just regarding it as a point of interest.
Sorry. I mean to the group generally, having turned up at this place, seen this giant crater and this kind of far-off facility as well. Remember, the armory was described as being at least a couple of miles across. I'm retconning that. He actually said 20 miles across, but that's too big. So a couple of miles across it was described as. Let's say, Shaq, you will have been able to tell that the facility or area that you saw is not that big. It's maybe at most half a mile across.
And does it look like part of it was destroyed just to nothing, or is it like it's been exaggerated?
Well, you can see what you have seen.
I don't know. I've never been the brains of the group, so.
Yeah, the brains of our group are gone.
All right. Fair enough. No, that's completely fine. So, how do you proceed from here?
I mean, it does seem like violence, or maybe trying to blow it up.
Well, Minimum eats a lot of brains, so.
I'm going to say because you're in a big area here. I'm going to say Stacen can have he handbraked his vehicle into the warp circle, so that actually got taken in with you. It landed very heavily on its suspension, but it's still in good shape. And let's say that rather than the car, it's something that's big enough to transport the whole group, and it has fuel. So any particular thoughts on what that vehicle might be?
The one, the new Stationmobile, or the one in the distance?
Yeah, the new Stationmobile.
Is it a supersonic acrobatic rocket-powered battle car?
Could be. Bear in mind, it has to be big enough to transport all of you.
Like the truck version?
I'm picturing it I'm picturing it being a sports car intended for normal-sized human beings, and so maybe Shaq or maybe Varric's car surf on
To be
top
fair,
of it.
Shaq can fly and Minim can teleport, so
Okay. Yeah, all right, that works. So at this point, like, yeah, I was picturing a sports car just because I wanted to unfold. So
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, no, we could certainly do that. Let's say it has like
Hanging off things is kind of my MO.
Yeah.
let's say it has kind of like a post-apocalyptic roof rack on it, basically.
Yeah, Mad Max. Yeah, we're doing it.
Which is big and sturdy enough to support Varix on top, and yeah, I guess that leaves enough space. Let's say it's a pretty bit decent-sized four-seater sports car, so it's got enough space in the back for the rest.
does it have any guns?
You tell me.
I think that's up
How many
to
guns does it have, Stacen?
I was just trying to find an image that might be suitable, but I don't know if I'll find one quickly enough. So there is one pivotable turret type thing on the back. It's got the back is open. It's more of like a pickup type of thing with an open
Sports
back.
pickup.
Sports pickup, yeah.
Cool.
You know the one.
Yeah. All right. So I presume at this stage you are planning to get in or on your vehicle and start heading towards the place in the distance.
I'm gonna hang on to the vehicle, to the rack with one hand, and just kind of like trail off the back because I'm still weightless for another hour.
Just
It's
like
like Marty McFly style.
Yeah. I'm imagining just like waving around behind the back like a flag.
Yeah, like a streamer. Absolutely.
Oh, could I give him a
like
rope?
around?
Could I give him a rope and fly him like a kite?
Yes.
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 I've sort of found an image, but it doesn't have the open back I was looking for, but it's close. It's pretty close.
Cool.
Imagine this, but slightly extended.
Ooh, that's pretty
Oh,
cool.
very nice. Awesome. Okay, I like that a lot. So
Yeah, that's sick.
So you pile into or onto that thing, and
lovely.
what?
You'll notice the hatch is useful for Shaq to pop out of because he just can't fit in that thing.
So what kind of route are you going to head off in? Are you going to go like directly across the crater or around it, or?
Well, I guess we need to defer to Shaq on this one. He said something about a road.
So in terms of roads, there's let's see.
Was that on this side, the other side, or around it?
So the road I described is like basically a large kind of highway style road, and whatever they're called, off ramps and stuff that are within and around the distant facility. Let's say there is. You can kind of see on the map. There's like some
these sort of
straight lines and stuff.
Yeah,
Yes.
So if we follow that one around, and I'm assuming it curves around the bottom just off the image.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then
Yeah.
from
So
that side, maybe from the south side.
all right, cool. And are you basically where are you kind of situated relative to the ridge? So let's say the ridge kind of lips up a bit around the edge of the crater. So basically, are you making an effort to be vaguely stealthy about this, or are you just doing it hell for leather?
We'll be on the far side of the ridge. The least visible side of the ridge. In regards to the facility.
All right, nice. So okay, so you set yourselves up, and the car engine revs up, and the sound kind of goes echoing across the desolate sands, and you start your journey off to the southeast. Obviously, the motor is a pretty fast one, but in fact, not long after you set off and start driving with Shaq being kited along behind. You hear a sound, and it's basically, I guess it's basically, so it's kind of like a horn or a klaxon, basically, but doesn't sound so much like an alarm one as almost like the horns and stuff at the beginning of a basketball or a football game or something. It's like and you hear this echoing across, the crater, I guess, from the buildings far off in the distance. And then following on from that, several more like klaxons and sirens and things, and even, I guess, like alarm bells start kind of going off in that area. But they too have a a kind of semi-musical, although yeah, kind of like a semi-musical quality. Like they're clearly not really things that were made to, you know, they're not like instruments. They're just kind of alarm bells and stuff. But yeah, they're kind of jingling and chiming away. But as I mentioned, it is kind of like the start or introduction of like a basketball game, basically. And well, don't get too excited. So then you hear, you start to hear basically a rumbling and kind of the sound, like the hum and roar of distant engines. And then let's see, let's say that your vehicle is kind of getting to be kind of down here somewhere. And you also, yeah, I guess Shaq would be able to see into the crater. So I mentioned that it's like a glassy surface, basically. And what you actually see is you start to see lights that seem to be shining up through the glass from below it. And these are kind of like lasers and searchlights and just kind of powerful beams of lights in various colors and stuff that are kind of sweeping through and around the glass, but as I say, seeming to come from the bottom. There's not really one source. There's like many different ones kind of shining up, and some of them are sweeping slowly, some fast, some are kind of flashing, things like that. And yeah, well, okay, so at this point, how are you reacting to what's going on?
I'm going to pull myself down the rope toward the station mobile and kind of let them know that there seems to be flashing lights in this lake. I don't really, I'm inexperienced with the world, and I don't even have a high intellect in the first place. So kind of the best I can do is just say that there are flashing lights and that they're sweeping in maybe search patterns is the best I can figure.
Yeah, yeah.
Are they coming like directly for us, or are they headed just across? Like,
so they're basically just kind
are
of.
they on an intercept path, or
let's see.
can we tell from up there?
Yeah, let's say, Shaq, go ahead and give me another intellect roll to try and analyze.
Right in the sky, the roving reporter.
Yeah.
What's the traffic like, Jack?
Yeah, I'm the traffic.
So let's say this is just another difficulty 3.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, so you can, what you can tell is they're not, in fact, homing in on you particularly. In fact, they don't actually seem to be reacting directly to you at all. Rather, it's something that seems kind of like a light show, basically. Most of the light sources, I guess, are coming from around the center of the crater, but you can see some other areas where there's a few of them where they seem to be kind of in a line, and some of them where there's just larger groups, but it's clearly not, the sources of the light aren't just scattered completely randomly across the center of the crater. They're kind of grouped together is what I'm saying. And in terms of where they're shining, they're just kind of flashing and spinning all around the crater and just lighting the whole thing up because of the strange like melted glass composition of this crater. It tends to kind of refract and reflect the light in kind of strange and cool ways. So it's you know, imagine that these lights and stuff are kind of shining through rushing water and splaying and glowing all over the place. So it looks rather cool. And the yeah, I guess that's how much I'll give you from that. Yeah, go ahead and you may act.
This reminds me of the arena back home. It looks like it's more of a show than defense.
Indeed, it does seem that way.
Yeah.
There's one guy who knows his defense. It's Shaq. So, are we proceeding on our normal course, or are we going to divert off and check this out, or what's the thinking?
I think that we're probably, during the course of this, I bet we're going to wind up going under there and finding out what it is regardless. It's kind of my sense.
So we'll carry on the way we're going? Around?
Yeah, I would suggest we continue going around and trying to reach this armory. We'll figure out this
maybe like
shortly.
Maybe go a bit more cautiously. Do you think they're hearing us, or like?
Yeah, warning.
Can I hear any sounds of like maybe music being pumped through the arena? Maybe Come On and Slam and Welcome to the Jam?
Let's see.
I mean, admittedly, like we're in a car that is like roaring, right? Like this is a fast
Yeah,
car.
exactly. Yeah,
Probably
it's
not
very
very.
much. Yeah, it's making a lot of noise. The music I'm gonna say is not "Come On and Slam," but it doesn't really have like a single distinct tune, but it's just kind of something is trying to be as musical as it or they or whatever can with these kind of alarms and stuff. So all that is happening. Let's say that as you continue on your path, well, actually no. Let's see. Yeah, are you going to continue below the lip of the crater so that you can't see, and are you going to reel Shaq back out so that he can see, or what?
I'd like to reel myself back out.
Yeah, we'll stay on the far side, I think, but we'll use our roving reporter in the sky, who's hopefully less visible.
All right, cool. So,
I mean, I'm still a 7'2" guy. Like,
Yeah.
here, so.
But you're not like a whatever this vehicle is, you know.
all right, so as you're rushing through the sky, being dragged along behind the Station-mobile 2, let's see. First of all, you start to hear mixed in among the alarms and stuff like that. You can hear kind of echoey, rather distorted-sounding voices speaking very loudly. Let's see. I guess Shaq wouldn't really have heard anything like this in particular, but the voice is basically somewhat synthesized sounding. It has a very level tone, and it's just kind of intoning out these. You can't tell, like it's not in the common language. It's in something you don't recognize, but it seems to be listing out, something like orders or statuses or something like that. It sounds somewhat robotic. There are several of these different kind of voices and different tones talking over each other rather, and they don't seem to be specifically talking to you, but rather just making some kind of announcement for their own purposes. What you see after that is, so I mentioned you heard the kind of rumble of engines and so forth, and you then see cresting over the lip of the crater, kind of in like between, so the far lip of the crater where the other facility is, you see several large, in some cases very large vehicles basically rolling over the lip of it and trundling down into the crater. Let's see if I have any icons and stuff. Oh, I already didn't hide that one, so let's say there's this one. Give me 2 seconds. Boop. And let's have one of these.
This looks less than friendly.
So they trundle over the edge of the crater and just kind of like these 2 big ones here. They're probably at least like 50 meters across, something like that. There's a couple of smaller guys who kind of look like this. Let's have a couple of those. And let's say there's kind of a fairly large but kind of hovering or floating vehicle that follows along behind them as well. Most of them are like any indicator lights and like landing lights and just general lamps and stuff that they have on them are all activated and flashing. This is actually, wait, let's see. Actually, no. I'm going to retcon. I said the sun before, but I'm going to say that because I think it was basically about midnight, roughly when you would have walked. So I'm going to say that it's actually night, and that's going to make these lights and things that are coming up from the through the glass and things
Looks so
all that
much cooler.
Yeah, exactly. It's way more kind of visible and impressive. These, vehicles and machines and stuff that you're seeing over the lip, they're kind of mostly silhouetted, but with these kind of bright spotlights and indicator lights and things that make them look like kind of strange, fearsome creatures in kind of silhouette. But they're all trundling down into the crater, moving at quite a speed, although as you look at them, even you who aren't very well versed in these things, Shaq, can tell that they're looking rather the worse for wear. You can see several of them are kind of missing parts, or their kind of armor and kind of shell and stuff is kind of broken off and exposed. Pardon me. And a couple of them seem to be kind of somewhat limping, basically. However, they move out and kind of spread out somewhat into the crater. Let's say the flying thing kind of stays roughly on the ridge. This one kind of goes over around here.
Sorry, what's the crater? Is that the green bit?
So the crater is basically, let's see if I can get my ruler.
If you zoom right out, it looks like it's a big upside down horseshoe to me. Like,
yeah,
basically off the top and then all the way around to almost in front of the.
Okay.
Yeah, so almost the whole map is made up of this giant crater, which is
so
a couple
the
of
base on the
kilometers
other side
across.
is on the edge of the crater. It's not in it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Or rather, it's kind of beyond the far edge of it.
Yeah.
So that is happening, and as these vehicles kind of spread out around the crater, some of the beams of kind of lights and spotlights and things that are flashing around through the glass seem to kind of focus in on certain points and change in nature and kind of resolve as you see the, I guess they would look kind of ghostly forms of many more of these vehicles start kind of appearing into place. Again, kind of spread roughly around the crater. Many of them come into being like this. Let's say something like, I'm going to say it's about 80 vehicles, but they seem to be basically divided into half, kind of roughly across the middle of the crater. The ones more on the south side take on a like they appear to be kind of painted or colored in a more green color, and the ones that are on the north side are kind of painted or colored in a more blue color. So let me just get the icons for these. 1 second. Oops.
So this is Rocket League. It's a very large game of Rocket League.
Maybe.
Golly, tanks. Oh my gosh. Okay, right. Yeah. Hello.
Oh, hello.
That's a lot of things with guns.
Are any of
I
them?
got all of them. Yep, go ahead.
Are any of them not real?
So it appears so. So basically, a handful of them, I don't know, 6 or so of them, in looking in pretty bad repair, kind of trundle over the ridge, and then this kind of light show kind of intensified, and a lot of these appear to be illusory.
Yeah.
They're very convincing. Like if you just came across the crater, you'd probably believe they were real. But because, or Shaq presumably relates this, Shaq will have seen them just like jump into place, arrayed around this crater.
And also Minimal see them for what they are.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So you can indeed tell that apart from a handful of rather dilapidated-looking machines, most of these seem to be just illusions or images. Beyond just the vehicles appearing, the whole area around the crater, and in fact, you see several like lasery-looking kind of beams or projectors opening up that seem to be situated around the rim of the crater. And yeah, I'll just give you this one as well. They seem to have been somewhat or like slipshoddily installed after the crater was created around the lip of it. They're now shooting like beams and projections down into the crater as well, and they're basically building up a kind of illusory environment within the crater. It is a kind of somewhat scrubby, temperate terrain. You can see the ruins of several large buildings. There's kind of a road running through it with a lot of kind of destroyed machines and stuff. So it basically seems to be recreating some kind of ancient battlefield.
Sounds like Dota.
Should we approach in a sort of more friendly manner?
Barrel down mid.
Yeah, we got to start jungling, guys. Actually, I just used up all my Dota vocab right there.
Roche, guys.
Yeah, I called him Rochambeau. I'm not even sure what his real name is. So, my sense, just as a player, is that we should kind of let them do their thing and kind of observe.
They don't seem to be like lining up for us, do they? They're against each other by the looks of it, or facing one another.
The other question I had, Corvine, is in addition to the way that they're lining up, were the illusions on both sides? Are both sides
yes.
as illusory as the other?
Yeah, so let's say each side has a couple of real vehicles and the most of the rest of them, 30-ish on each side are illusory. So there's even more than the icons that I've put here, but there's no reason to put all of them.
The blue, so the ones that came over the ridge could be like, if this is a game, the big one could be like the referee, and you could have the linesman or something. I don't know.
It could be. You did notice that the floating kind of craft, which is over here, where I'm pinging on the bottom left, is it seems to have kind of taken up a position where it seems to be kind of watching over the proceedings, and the ones that are down in the crater, they also don't. They seem to be taking up more observation positions than combat positions.
I get like they might be doing simulating battles or something to try and work on some sort of AI or like honing battle formations or techniques or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe they found the armory before we did, but instead of using them for war, they just decided to play games with them, and now they're all mostly broken.
Play the biggest session of 40k ever.
All right, so I guess are you taking any kind of action to interfere or make yourselves known, or are you just going to observe?
I think we should share one of the sides.
I know time is a concern here, but should we watch for a bit?
Yeah, you do. You do have
pull up on this sort of. There looks like a flat part of the ridge coming up just south of us. We could perhaps pull up there and watch for a bit. Kill the lights.
Okay.
It'll get romantic in there.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Sounds good to me. So
my lube.
Friction reducing gel.
That's right. Yeah. Friction reducing gel.
Okay. So you kill the lights and put it down into a low gear and just rumble your way up onto kind of a break in the ridge line where there's a relatively flat area where you can observe. There's no particular sign that you seem to have been noticed so far. Speaking of cheering, let's see. Okay, so after this first round of vehicles and stuff got projected into place, seemingly in some kind of battle formation, whether simulated or not, you also start to see more of them. I'm not going to put icons here, but they start to flash into place more up around the edge of the craters. Not quite on the ridgeline, but kind of just inside it. And these are... There's kind of a big collection or mix of different types of machines. A lot of them seem to be kind of war machines along the lines of the ones that are in the crater, but there's other ones that seem like kind of haulage machines and things that build things, and other ones that you're just maintenance. And these are just your guesses as to what they do. Some of them you just don't have any particular ability to tell what they are, but they're all kind of lining up around the edge of the crater, and they actually seem to be showing these again are just projections, and yet they seem to be kind of active, and they, for lack of a better description, they seem to be basically cheering, or kind of preparing to anyway. They're like, in a almost rather human-like or animal fashion. You can kind of see them turning to look at each other and kind of making gestures with whatever parts of them can move and kind of flashing their lights and stuff. So they seem to, in some sense, be excited to kind of watch what is going on. You also see basically around where they're situated, you see flying up out of the places where the kind of projectors are situated around the edge of the crater, you see some little flying drone things that basically pop out and start flitting around the area. Anyone make me a Numenera check, so that'd be intellect, difficulty, let's say 4.
I guess that's me.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Wow.
So it's a bit dark, and this whole scene is a bit confusing. And plus, the kind of technology side of Numenera is not something you've been quite so versed in. Pardon me. But you're able to tell that basically these drone things that are flying around seem to basically be camera drones, and they're flying around to kind of get a better look. And from the way that the images of the like crowd, let's call them, around the edge of the crater kind of react. It seems like they're basically looking through or seeing through those camera drones and inspecting the scene in that sense. They also seem to have kind of speakers in them because they are kind of repeating and echoing announcements that are sounding out from the facility over to the west, and they're taking on a more kind of animated tone. You still can't actually wait. Let's have you make another intellect roll, Minim, with difficulty, I'm going to say 5, and this is basically to try and understand what is being said here.
Numenera wouldn't count for this, would it?
No, I don't think it would. So actually, anyone else who feels like they might have language skills or anything like this, yeah, like, yeah.
So, difficulty 5, we're going to do that. Okay, so I can do 3 effort for free. Beep.
Very nice. All right, so you are able to, I don't know, let's say along your travels, you've kind of spoken to various machines and robots and stuff.
I didn't put the specialized in there deliberately. I forgot about that. But
yeah,
it would succeed anyway.
Yeah. That's cool. So, yeah, so you've talked to various robots and stuff, and let's say that Bob Pereira has kind of collected over time various kind of dialects and protocols and stuff that they talk in, and luckily one of them applies in this case. So you're able to
also kind of like with regard to how Minim sorts things out is that he sees patterns in things very readily.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Yeah, so like this is like, I guess it's kind of a modem-like sound in the sense that it's kind of very much audio-based, but it's also kind of conveying information as well. So anyway, what you're able to pick up is basically kind of as you somewhat had an impression of already. This does seem to be some kind of event or game, kind of like a gladiatorial event. And what they're talking about is let's see, I'm not going to do a voice for it, but it's basically announcing kind of, and now repeating the, let's see, it says repeating after action report 553 AB1, one of a big kind of crowd favorite. On the left side, we have the 56th Armored Division, 3rd rank, 5th echelon of force designation AB12, and in the south we have the greater logistical mechanic force of the of force designation TX1, and then the whole crowd is kind of erupts in kind of cheers and like stomping around and doing their little robot-y movements, or like in if it's like a truck, it's just kind of reversing back and forth quickly in an excited kind of manner.
Yeah, while Minim has understood it correctly, I think he would believe that he hasn't.
Okay, yeah. Certainly it's the way they're talking, like they have this kind of sports announcery kind of timbre, and yet the jargon and the names and stuff tend to be more in the way of kind of serial numbers and designations. So it's a bit of an odd mix and probably would be quite confusing to Minim. I get the impression maybe even without directly understanding the language, I think probably Shaq would recognize this for what it is as well. Absolutely.
Specialized in sports.
Yeah, nice. Cool. Okay, so so you see,
these are like, I don't know, some sort of reenactment society.
Are you actually specialized in sports?
No, I'm not.
Oh, shame.
Sorry, what was the question just before?
No, I was just making a comment. It was more like these guys seem to have taken historical reenactment of battles in a sort of a gamey way.
That does indeed seem to be what's going on. Okay, so I guess one more thing you notice is you're seeing this kind of crowd, as it were, like doing the war machine equivalent of kind of whooping and cheering and stuff, and it's kind of echoed by the kind of rumbling and vague thumps and stuff that you can kind of hear just echoing, I guess, or not quite echoing, but like rumbling kind of throughout the crater, basically, almost as if it's coming from underground.
Are they actually damaging each other?
Well, they haven't actually started anything yet. They've just taken up their positions. However, as you say that, the announcer thing kind of comes to the end of its announcement, and then there's a the robots who are down in the crater, they kind of turned their various guns and stuff upwards, and they basically let out kind of bursts of kind of flares and tracer fire and stuff that shoot up into the sky like fireworks. And at the same time, the kind of light show that's coming from below and around kind of erupts particularly spectacularly. And there seems to be the equivalent of a ready, set, go. And instantly the whole battlefield just erupts in simulated carnage as all of the machines are just opening up against each other. Probably, well, those of you who were there for the war with the insects, it was kind of not unlike this, but this is kind of rather more concentrated in space, and it's basically just a huge team versus team kind of barrage. They're just shooting artillery shells and lasers and machine guns and all kinds of strange weaponry back and forth across this across this crater. They're kind of moving around, taking cover and throwing up smoke screens and stuff like that. But they're having a big old ruckus. And let's see. So, okay, yeah, I'll throw this in as well. So, anytime there's a particularly big kind of shot or explosion that like impacts the ground or something like that, it looks like one of the real robots or machines will shoot one of their weapons at the same spot.
Nice.
To make kind of the glass like explode and send these kind of glowing chips everywhere that catch the light and look very spectacular. Pretty much every time that happens, there's a big roar of, big kind of surge of these mechanical robot-y sounds from the crowd, and again, you can kind of hear them dimly echoed from the ground as well.
This sounds like Krizen's jam.
Yeah, I really want to get in on this.
How do you react at this stage?
I mean,
what color do we
have
cheer for?
The thing is, we have like a job to do, but
yeah, my thought is like this is a good distraction, where presumably like we could sneak into the armory while everybody's involved in this. I don't know if I want to.
Maybe we can TiVo it.
It is. Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. You guys come up with your plan.
I mean, either we go to work or we watch Robot Wars.
Oh, just think about timing though. So you have 3 days before the invasion, and the kind of general budget is like 1 day per thing. So you have a certain amount of time. If you can do it quicker, then that will save you some time, but not that much because they have to spool up the warp thing to take you somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So you're not like in a massive rush to do this like now. You just can't afford to like be taking days doing it.
I do ask. I mean, I look sort of, like a child that walks past a candy shop at the rest of everyone else. Oh, can I, please? I don't even articulate more what I want. That's just, I'm too excited. In my head, I'm imagining how amazing it would look when the light show reflects on my skills.
I think he's giving the equivalent of like puppy eyes, but they're just these really wide snake eyes, so it looks kind of creepy.
Okay, options. A, we sneak in, try and get past them. B,
should we take a vote? Who wants to stay and watch?
We could watch. We could actually join in with the sort of revelry and make it look like our car is sort of happy and excited by all this as a way of introducing ourselves.
If we want to break it down into like mechanical terms, getting in on it could, make us friends with them.
Mm.
But if they're not interested in that anyway, it might be better to sneak in.
I mean, Shaq is just looking at massive explosions taking place and thinking, I don't really want much of that. Like, I don't want to be exploded.
But do you want to be the one doing the exploding?
Wait.
Explosions are kind of dunks, so he's appreciative of what's going on, but
explosive energy from his quads.
I mean, do we see any sort of leadership? Like
Let's see. Yeah, let's say there's a small group of vehicles on each side, which seems to be kind of hanging back, relatively far to the south or north, respectively. And if you had to guess, it seems like they're more on the command level, and they're kind of giving orders and stuff. In fact, yeah, let's see. Let's say at this stage, let's see, put these guys over here, and let's put. Oops. Put this one here as well. So let's say over here, there's a couple of vehicles which seem less heavily laden with guns and more laden with kind of communication equipment and whatnot. And then behind them, there's a very large kind of technically bipedal, but it has these very kind of large, thick, squat legs kind of behind them, which seem to be acting as a kind of defense for them. And there is a, while all, actually, hold on. Ooh, hold on.
Nice quads.
While all of the hold on a sec. Yeah, so while all of the battle and stuff is going on in the middle here, a group of blue vehicles, let's say, they seem to be acting kind of somewhat as a strike squad. There's a couple of fast bipedal ones, and then kind of a larger tank. They basically zoom their way along the edge of the crater, and they're doing like the edge of the crater around here is kind of sloped. Let's say it's maybe about 40 degrees. And there's kind of a darker area here where the lights and such aren't really reaching. And they basically kind of engage their rocket boosters and just kind of ramp up along the side. And they the surface of the glass is kind of, has a lot of kind of folds and rivulets and stuff. So they're doing a lot of sick jumps as they go on their little ninja mission around the side, and as they kind of approach roughly your area, they let loose a sweep of missiles that goes, that goes swooshing across the gap between them, and smashes into the big guy at the back, the defense guy, and it suffers several explosions and kind of falls over onto its side. And they seem to be, the strike squad seems to be closing in now on what you would guess seem to be kind of passing for command vehicles.
I mean, we can intervene if it's on the way, I guess. Do you want to throw it for green?
We don't want to do that.
I'm just, that's an option that is available to us.
This is a very tricky scenario because
Shaq is very appreciative of the cars that just jumped.
I mean, you were saying before, although these are projections, some of the explosions are actually real because they're being fired by the real weapons, right? So if we get too close, we're going to be under fire.
Potentially.
Maybe we should just drive around and break in.
Sounds good.
I mean, it's just occurred to me that we've got 4 glaives on the team, so, I mean, we might as well get in a fight.
My shoulders sort of sag, and I said, "All right, guys."
All right, so
you can't really punch a projected tank, right? It's not gonna...
How about we
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
How about we try and go around to some other spectators and get close to them?
Yeah.
Nah, let's just go to the thing.
Yeah, I want to head up this armory, see what's going on with it.
Cool.
Drive on.
All right. Yeah, no problem. So you, let's see. Let's have Stason give me so it's like a stealth driving check, basically.
Oh, stealth driving. I do that all the time. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, probably it could be speed or intellect, I guess, whichever you prefer. Let's say it's going to be
speed then.
Yeah. Let's say it's going to be difficulty. I'm going to say 6 to avoid detection.
Okay. And would you say I'm trained or untrained in that?
Let's see.
Whatever this is.
I think you have something like a skill in motor vehicles or something.
Yeah, I presume you must have driving or something.
There was some mention of that. I don't have it written down though, but I remember in the.
It's in
the
your
first one.
level up.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
figure.
yeah. Look at that.
Okay, yeah. So you are whatever you are in that, either trained or specialized.
What is vehicular expertise? I don't have it.
It's probably just like a skill. So, and it's pretty flexible system. So
Right.
anything that
I
relates to
figure.
cars.
Okay, I think since you didn't seem to put in your sheet, but on the other hand, you are Stace and Jatham, I'm going to say you can be trained in that.
Trained. Okay, so trained, difficulty 6, and speed.
Yes.
And that is the red one, isn't it?
All right. So as you you stealthily pull back from the lip of the ridge and start making your way around. But let's say as you're driving, kind of behind the lip, you can suddenly see some bright lights that seem to be shining through the glass. They get brighter and closer, and suddenly there's a huge explosion that rips apart the lip of the glass right there and sends shards of it kind of scattering, over and around your vehicle. Let's have Shaq and Varex make a might defense difficulty, let's say 5.
How does one do a defense?
So it is. Let me get the thing up. So it's basically, similar difficulty. So the difficulty is going to be 5. You would need training or specialization in might defense in order to have training in this. You can apply effort. I'm going to say, Shaq, I'm going to say you have a -1 asset because you're literally just floating up in the sky. So you just plug that in and then you do the red dice next to might.
Okay. So I'm untrained. Difficulty 5. Let's do this. Oh.
All right, so Shaq, you take 5 damage minus any armor you have. So that comes off the might pool first. Once you run out of might, then it'll go from speed and then from intellect.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so that happens, and with that, let's say the explosion is enough that you don't kind of wreck or crash your vehicle, but it goes spinning to a halt in a cloud of dust, and the strike force of blue vehicles swerves around through the wreckage of the green command vehicles, which they've now destroyed. Put crosses on those. And they, let's move your icon over here. This one over here. Okay, so basically they swing around as one of them catches a glance through the new gap in the rim and catches sight of you. And they kind of skid to a halt basically on the far side of the gap. And they start, they're kind of flashing and beeping and whirring in an excited fashion. And they seem to be kind of turning off into the battlefield. Let's say they look up at one of the drone cameras that kind of flies. In fact, one of them flies over to them, and another one skims over the top of the ridge line and floats its way up to your vehicle. And it's kind of circling around you and kind of filming you and transmitting you. And
could I get out of the car, sort of stand on the roof, and make a sort of I don't know, a conciliatory gesture, a sort of "we're not a threat" gesture?
Yeah, like
I'm doing a friendly wave
from up above.
Absolutely.
Okay. Is anyone else reacting in any particular way?
We've been made, have we?
It seems so.
I'm just going to lurk in the back for now.
Yeah. Just peeking up out of the rear boot window.
Jason's just swearing because the car's not functioning at the moment, so he's a bit pissed about that.
Yeah, like shooting, not shooting, but pumping the gearbox, and the gears are like clanking underneath it. All right, so basically, so the blue vehicles. In fact, let's see. Yeah, actually, what happens is you suddenly hear the sounds of the battle almost instantly stop. There's a few more rounds fired and stuff, and a couple more explosions. But then there's kind of almost an eerie quiet. The kind of echoes of the barrage of shots that have been going forth kind of rolls across the desert, and then peters out as you hear the kind of rumbling of many of the vehicles, at least in the vicinity of you, seeming to kind of come closer. So they're, the sound of them moving is simulated as well as the sight. So they're kind of crowding up around you curiously and evidently in some excitement. Let's see. You taking any kind of further action at this stage? Or let's say at this point, Stathan, you get the motor back in order. So are you wanting to just kind of stay and greet them, or like speed away, or do something else?
I say, well, no, I'll let you react.
Well, my instinct was to just bail, basically, because he's usually quite a good driver, and we might be able to get around the lip of the rim, and they'll lose us for a bit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as I say, your vehicle's back up and moving. So if you want to make a getaway, you could absolutely do that.
While he's deliberating on whether to do the getaway, Shaq is smiling widely at the cameras and waving in a really friendly manner toward everybody. He's got a ton of natural charisma to him, so
nice.
He's just kind of greeting everybody in a cheerful, friendly sort of way, because that's how Shaq lives.
Yeah, nice.
I think I forget what the surface is like we're on. Is this dusty or is this glass?
So if you're outside the crater, then it's going to be basically dusty.
Okay, in that case, I want to kick up do a donut to kick up some dust.
Oh yeah, nice.
Well, I say, get ready to do that.
Okay. I mean, I could continuously be doing a donut. We can just keep holding.
I sort of want to go out and just try and greet them.
Cool. All right. So
I'm not the most diplomatic person, but I'm pretty honest.
Yeah. All right. So basically, so are you like kind of jumping off the car and like walking towards them, or?
Yeah, sort of hands up in a sort of friendly gesture. I'm not here to make trouble.
All right, cool. So as you're like walking across the space, there's still like kind of debris and dust like swirling around you, and it kind of goes over your skin. And but as you approach them, several of the vehicles actually wait, let's see. No, most of them, they kind of crowd up like behind the behind the gap, but inside the crater, and they seem either unwilling or unable to leave it. It's possible that they just can't be projected that far. However, one of the real vehicles trundles up into place and does exit the crater and kind of roll towards you. Let's say it's I don't know, like it's a big, what you might call a kind of tracked mecha, like a big Johnny 5 or something.
Right.
There seems to be some kind of maintenance vehicle, and it trundles its way up to you, and it starts kind of extending various kind of scanning arms and stuff. It kind of scans over you and over the Stationmobile, and then looks up and scans Shaq, and
Hey there.
it goes boop boop boop, and let's see.
Could I just say to it, hello, do you speak the truth? Which is the language of the...
Yes, it is. And let's see. Okay, so it starts making a few like beeps and whirs and stuff. Let's see. Oh, you have those translator things in your ears. Yeah, okay, so it goes through a few like permutations of different types of communicating, and then it gets one that is close enough to the truth that the translators kind of kick in and you're able to understanding it. And it says something like, "Oh my God, it's been so long, visitors. We haven't had any here in ages. And well, okay, so never mind that, but." Let's see. It's basically seems very excited and gregarious and happy to see you. And as you're talking with it, the ones behind, or the projections behind you in the crater, are even more excited, and they're kind of like jumping about and kind of waving their arms or closest equivalents. And let's see. It says. We're so happy that we finally have some more players to enter into the game. You seem to have your vehicle already, so let's get started. And it's like beckoning you into the crater and like assuming it's kind of assuming that you want that you're here basically to kind of join in with this game. How do you Nye or anyone else kind of react to that?
In the background, you could just hear the engine going.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that sounds wonderful, but what is this game? We're not familiar with it.
It says, it's been so long and we get so bored that, yeah, I mean, it says that, and it says, let's see, how would it describe this?
I love how that's like the first reason he goes to.
Basically, it says, we have to. Let's see. I'm having trouble coming up with the voice for this guy, so I'm just going to kind of describe what he says. He basically describes that he has. We have to keep our data banks active and stop them from stagnating. We thirst for new tactical data, and beyond that. We've always had a natural thrill for the fight, it says, and it's like we don't have anything better to do, so why not indulge it? And at this point, several of the machines are getting really worked up by this kind of talk, and they turn on each other, and one of them just shoot at each other, and one of them blows the other one up.
So I'm maintaining this really friendly look to myself, but inside it oh.
And when that happens, several more, let's say several more of the machine. In fact, now that you've been talking with the real machine, the other ones seem to be kind of doing their best to try and kind of reconfigure how they're communicating and expressing themselves, and they're kind of turning on, activating kind of speakers and things like that to try and kind of vocally express themselves. And as that happens, you hear this big crowd of them behind going yeah, fighting, and several of them break off and just start doing a little skirmish, they speed away across the glass and stuff. Several more of the spotlights and things kind of go on them, and they just start shooting at each other as they go off into the background. But the ones around here seem more interested in you, and they're kind of cooing over your vehicle and the gun on it, and whoa, that looks so fast, and oh my God, is that a 48 caliber? Rattling off some serial number for the gun and all that kind of stuff, and they're ooh, and look at these infantry. There's all different kinds. Yeah, they're kind of getting very excited, basically, about the prospect of fighting you. So, how are you reacting to that?
I say, well, you know what? I think we know of something that might interest you even more than fighting us.
They're ooh, what are you talking about? Is it war? Is it war? Is it war?
It's not only war, it's the mother of all wars.
Yes.
The mother of all wars.
Oh,
and
good thinking.
They're taking this very, very literally, and they're oh my God, bigger than excursion after action report 53821, and they're
actually bigger, yes.
Oh, and they're that sounds amazing. And
guys, it is gonna be awesome.
And they're oh, wait a second. And they're oh no, and all of them are suddenly kind of protesting and things, and they're oh, we got so excited, but we forgot we can't actually wait. They say, okay, can you bring the battle here?
Why would we need to? Can you not leave here?
No, we're confined to base.
Why?
We're all scheduled for repairs.
Oh. Oh.
Okay.
But
Is this
yeah,
something we could?
but a while back the facility was compromised, and they looked back over the giant glass crater.
Right. What happened?
Well, it was a Type 59X3 quantile fission warhead. You see,
Wow, really?
we managed to
Not one of those.
intercept it with a close-in support weapon, but it still detonated a couple of kilometers above the ground, and well, you can see what happened. So that actually closed off the entrance to the underground storage unit, so we're trapped. But you know, we've been having fun so far.
If we helped you get in there, would you be able to get repairs and join in with this mother of all fights?
We'd like nothing better.
Oh my god.
Well,
I love
Making
this.
friends
I
with the
think-
cars. This is perfect.
I think we shouldn't
Army
waste
was
any time.
alive.
Yeah, we have to use their enthusiasm. Absolutely.
Join forces and get you ready for the ball, Cinderella.
So already like, let's see, are you kind of staying outside the crater at this point, or?
We're just outside. We're sort of on the lip of it, I think.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so the kind of interlocutor, I don't know, come up with a name for this guy, this big Johnny Five looking guy.
Johnny Six.
All right, so Johnny Six is he's like as you're talking to him, he's clearly kind of transmitting all kinds of data to the other machines, the ones you can see and possibly other ones that you can't, and yeah, he's essentially kind of signaling yes, but the others are like, ooh, what are they fighting? What kind of assets? What's their asset disposition? What's their asset disposition? Do they have do they have lots of infantry? I'm really good against infantry, and that kind of thing.
Well, your opponents. Should we tell them they're aliens? I suppose we should. Your opponents are going to be extremely high tech.
Ooh.
They're not from this planet. If you can believe such a thing.
Pack anti-air.
They say, okay, another planet, got it. They must have all kinds of alien tech. Oh, what's their maximum wattage outage?
7?
7? Oh, this big thing goes around like, 7?
Oh, no.
That's rubbish.
Oh, he means
Almost
7
certainly not.
million.
7 million? Oh, they're all suddenly like yelling and cheering. Yeah, okay, so they seem very enthusiastic about this notion. However, they have to find a way to actually get access to the army and kind of free these excitable war robots. So when you ask about how to do that, or was it Johnny Six points over in the direction of the facility off in the distance. I guess it's like a bit more than a kilometer away, and it says, "Well, if you want us to be able to get out of here and come with you, you're going to have to find. Well, the entrance is located over in that surface access facility, which has a whole bunch of supplementary facilities scattered around it. It's encountered some damage, and well, you'll see when we get there. And it basically it trundles out of the crater, and let's say it takes off at quite a speed over the desert sands. So presumably you pile back onto your vehicle and chase after it.
Sure.
Absolutely. I grabbed the rope.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so you head over in the direction of this facility. Once you get fairly close, you come across a somewhat ruined and destroyed kind of road, but it's enough to get up some speed as you come in. As you approach the facility, okay, hold on. I'm going to put you on the screen. So this icon that I've just dropped on towards the top right, oops, nope, is going to be your car.
Yeah, I see it. Don't have control of it, but it does go.
1 second. All right, you should have control now. So as you speed down this road, let's see. So it's the road has kind of posts, what look like kind of posts, driven into the ground along the side of the road. And as you're driving along, these kind of light up with lamps on top that at first are white, but then they start to kind of flash in a pattern that's like following your car as you're driving along beside them. And all of a sudden they turn red, and suddenly you see a long... my ruler would be better. Kind of along like this area, like the front of the buildings that are kind of facing you. You see a sequence of kind of bright red lights flash brightly along the length of there, and suddenly some red kind of lasery projectiles fly out in your direction and thwack into the sand kind of either side of the road and also in front of you. And Johnny 6, who is trundling along beside you, says, "Oh, don't mind them. They're just the defense system. They'll try and shoot at you and kill you."
Information that would have been useful a minute ago.
So, like, what? I thought you liked fighting.
Sure, we just didn't realize we were going to.
All right, so you're barreling along the road as you're suddenly coming under fire from these defenses that are shooting up the ground around you. It seemed like the first barrage was kind of by way of a warning shot, but suddenly a few projectiles come in that that come much closer, and it's only with a prompt swerve by Stacen that you're able to avoid the first rounds. They now seem to be targeting you directly with an aim to try and blow you up. So let's see. So we're kind of basically going into combat. We're not going to do initiative just yet, I don't think. But Stacen, how are you going to react to this as the driver?
Well,
I'm probably going to floor it, I'd imagine. Go up again.
I might be able to help here. Just to clarify, you've said both energy and projectile. Are these just like laser rays?
Sure, yeah. What do you
Or is
want
it
them?
like mortar shells?
What do you want them to be?
I'd like them to be solid because I've got the ability to create a field of gravity around us that makes every projectile that enters range just drop harmlessly to the ground near us.
Nice. Okay, in that case, yes, they are like kind of large caliber tracer machine gun rounds.
Sweet. Okay. This is called the SWAT, is how I've decided to name it. And so I basically just block everybody's shots repeatedly, just slap them down on the ground, so just like in kind of a circle around the vehicle. I'm just slapping these mortars out of the air.
Nice. I'm kind of like you're being dragged along behind the vehicle on a rope. By the way, Roderick Shack can fly, so he's he's being dragged along behind the car on a rope like a kite. And I'm thinking that like as these projectiles start coming in, like you realize that you need to be up at the front in order to divert these. So you're like swimming through the air with your
No. I'm like, if it's on the right-hand side, I'm swerving the car to the left so that the tether swings him around to the right.
Oh, nice. Yeah, like kind of a Mad Max moment where you get swung around in the air, so you're at the front and you can do this swap move. So
like
that's
if
just
Mad Max was directed by Stephen Chow.
Yeah. So moon select attacks until the next turn the right round. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to say just spend the cost of that. I think that's going to protect you from the first barrage.
Awesome.
Let's see. I don't really have a strict rule for like how far you're going to be able to drive. Let's say, so if you're just piling on down the road in the same direction, let's say you get about this far. Let's see. Okay, so as you get closer, it becomes you come into the range of more of these guns, basically. So several more batteries of them open up, and the sky in front of you is just a field of these tracers just shooting in towards you and impacting with kind of the ground around you and the road. You're dodging and weaving. So Stason, give me a speed roll, difficulty, I'm going to say 6 to avoid these.
Okay, let's do that one.
Sweet, nice. Okay, so you not only succeed in.
Oh, 1 sec. I've also got. Actually, I might still count, but I've got an ability on my character sheet. Let me find it. What's it called? Minor to major. You treat rolls of a natural 19 as rolls of a natural 20. I don't know if that was a natural 19, but it's.
Yep. So the number right up at the top it says 1d20 and then 19. So
there it is. Okay.
That's your actual roll.
Yeah, because there's
usually
so much
that's
going on there.
Yeah.
I just read the green bit usually.
Yeah. Most of the maths in theory just affects the difficulty level, so your roll will be your roll. Cool. Okay, so you get a major effect in that case. So not only do you successfully avoid these shots that are coming in, let's say. Okay, so get my ruler. So you moved kind of about that far before. Let's say you can move twice that far. And if you can think of anything else that you want to have as a kind of side effect of what you're doing, you can also do that. So with about that much range, go ahead and say how your vehicle moves. Like, are you just still driving straight down the main road? Or?
No. Is there pathways either side of this road, like footpaths? Or is this like walk
yeah,
road
pretty much. Like,
okay. So on one of the curbs, I deliberately hit side of the car onto the curb to lift it up onto 2 wheels.
Yes.
Nice.
For a brief while, we're going on 2 wheels to kind of change the profile of the car so that projectiles are going like past it. If you know.
Nice. Okay, so whereabouts do you end up?
Well, I guess we're going straight down this main road, so as far as I can, basically down
yeah, cool.
the road.
Yeah, if you're just going down the road, then yes, it's going to be
Johnny.
about that far.
Yeah.
Um,
I was going to suggest that we ask Johnny 6 to run some simulations and see which would be the safest route, but it's a bit late for that.
all right, so as you're like driving through all these explosions and stuff, Johnny 6 is like weaved off to let's say the left of the road, and he's also dodging through these projectiles and stuff. And he's just going, yeah.
I think he's going to want to bring us on the safest route anyway.
Who's Johnny 6?
So he is.
Have you seen Short Circuit? The film?
No.
Okay.
Well, essentially, he's a robot who's on our side.
Yeah, so he's I guess he's shaped like in Terminator 2 as well, the kind of big like tracked tank things. Yeah, the hunter killer type things. Anyway, he's basically like a big mecha that has tank tracks. He's I don't know, like 15 feet tall or something like that.
Oh, so he's more like the robot from Lost in Space.
Yeah. But anyway, as you're bundling along, he let's see. So yeah, he was off to the road. As you kind of go in towards the interior of the complex, he rolls back onto the road with you, and he kind of projects like a kind of a holographic kind of display like in front of your vehicle. So it's kind of like a HUD, but it's like projected out in front of you. So it's a bit like wobbling back and forth, a little bit hard to read. But you see some kind of red concentric circles home in on a few points that are like in the buildings kind of in front of you. And let's say on the right and the left. And then if you give me just a second to get some icons. Let's see. Disguise. And from inside the kind of semi-ruined buildings, burst forth 2 very large security mechs. One here, and one here. And let's say. Okay, at this stage, let's roll initiative. So, let's see. I'm going to have to mess around with icons for a sec.
This music is really good jams, by the way,
Oh,
Dogface.
jeez.
Music
Do I
alert,
get-
intrusion.
Do I
Is
get
it the
anything
green or the
for
red one? I can never remember.
being
Red,
cool?
isn't it?
Hold on, I need to
Okay.
I need to get your
Hang
icon
on.
first. And so Rogorek, as usual, you'll be like, unless you say otherwise, you're just somehow attending this thing in whatever means you see fit. So you're, observing at some unseen place. So you can kind of jump in whenever you feel is best. So you're over here.
Were you in the car boot all along? That would explain why I wasn't handling very well earlier. The extra weight, I'm not used to it.
Oh, God damn it.
So
Sweet.
if I'm rolling my initiative, do I press the green or is it always the red?
It's always going to be the red. The red is the one that uses the API functions, basically. But yeah, hold on, because I need to get your icons in place so that it can work properly. Is that a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're correct.
So I picked up total awareness, which means that the difficulty of any initiative or perception tasks are reduced by 3 steps, but it's not like, it doesn't have a difficulty associated with it. Initiative.
Yeah.
So, I think just doing specialized asset +1 does the same thing.
Yeah. That
How many
works.
assets can I put in? Oh, only 2. Okay, fine, yeah.
All right, so I've got your icons. I've put them down in the bottom right. These are just for the purposes of doing
You could
initiative
also
and
use
stuff at this
bonus, I
stage.
suppose. Don't know.
Yeah, so bonus is kind of like an asset, but
It's only +1.
Oh, right. Okay.
yeah. So like, whereas an asset, an asset of 1 reduces the difficulty by 1, which reduces the target number by 3. But the bonus just gives adds or subtracts onto your roll directly.
Right.
One at a time. So you'd need 3 bonuses to do the same as 1 asset. Okay, so now that I've got your icons in place, what you need to do initiative is click on your icon, and then in your character sheet, roll initiative.
I am actually trained in this, so let's see how that
Do
goes.
you want me to roll
That's
again? Or,
specialized.
I mean, I got 2. So,
Whichever you like.
yeah, I'd rather roll again. Is there a little scrap of metal in the back of the station mobile, maybe?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, let's just I guess let's do
How
give
little?
everyone turns.
Because there's pieces missing off the bag which could be rattling around in there.
Right.
Yeah, just like a couple of, about a foot, maybe.
Yeah, go on. There's loads of scrap.
So these mechs are jumping out the building. They're about the size of Metal Gears.
Okay.
If
How
I,
big's
yeah,
the Metal Gear?
that's a
Not-
good question. It's like 20, 30 meters tall.
Okay.
That sounds about
Quite
right.
big.
Yeah, but think of them as having the same abilities and stuff like that. They're jumping dramatically in a Konami style out of the buildings. One of them leaps kind of onto the side of the road here, basically, and the other one is kind of perched on the rubble of its building.
Are they coloured blue as just because you're using tokens, or is that because they are on the blue team and we are essentially allied with the wrong team or something? I'm just trying to think if they're...
One of them's red.
What do you mean?
I think-
What do you mean blue? These guys are red.
They're both red.
Okay.
Yeah, these guys are. They have all their lights and stuff turned on red, and they're like, "Halt, intruders!" And well, before they have a chance to act, we're going to go in the turn order. So, Minim, because you got greater than 20, you have a
Well,
3.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't crit roll.
Doesn't matter. I'm going to go with the value as it.
Well, that's
I'll
probably
ask
going
a
to
quick
happen
question,
quite a
sorry.
lot now.
Actually, no. Yeah, that's right. Actually, I guess.
Yeah, because I got
So only.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, Shaq, before everyone else, if you roll a 20 in initiative, you get a free turn before anything else happens.
Well, you
Oh,
didn't
sweet.
roll a natural 20. I don't
Shaq
think anyone did. No,
Yeah,
That got a. Oh, I have literally no idea how to interpret
you got
that.
a 14, and it looks like you're specialized in it, so you
Yeah.
got 20.
Oh, okay, I get you.
I think that's the same thing that's happened to Varix.
Yes.
Yeah, Varric's
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
a 17.
Plus
He's
3.
trained.
He's
Yeah.
trained.
Yeah, I got +3 as well. But
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Good job on working that out.
Yeah, it's just if we
okay.
go 20 or over, I'm going to be getting that a lot
Yeah.
from here on out.
Okay, so in that case, it's just that Minim goes first.
Cool. So just big robots, yeah?
Yep.
Well, that sucks. I can't eat them. Well,
Don't put yourself down.
I mean, yeah, you can probably eat some silicone.
I'm just going to go and hit it.
have we considered trying to ask Johnny Six if he can disable these in any way? 'Cause
I was thinking about that. I was going to say, Johnny, can we do anything to get control of these things instead of destroying them?
No, they're on a different security loop. Wouldn't do it if I could anyway.
Yeah,
I
but
love Johnny Six.
We
can-
gotta see if you can actually
They
fight.
but these guys would be useful in the Mother of All
Yeah.
Wars, right? So
That's my only concern.
Right, but we've got like a whole host of other mechs.
That's true.
So
Um,
we just have to crack a few eggs to make this omelet.
I suppose as well, if we do make this omelette, there's repair drones inside the omelette that can repair the eggshells. I think
Quite.
that metaphor holds up.
Yeah, quite
Wow.
so.
Sort of.
All right, so Minim, what are you gonna do?
I'm going to... how far away are they?
You can use the ruler; it should be about accurate. So they're about 80 meters away.
That's more than 100 feet. I'm going to... How much is teleport? I think that's free if I'm not doing anything else with it. Yes. I'm going to teleport onto one of them's backs.
All right. Yeah. If you like move outside the vehicle, you can go ahead and like take your icon and move it where
Yeah.
it's going. So put it on whichever one you like.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So within the vehicle, Minim. Well, how does it look for the others like inside the vehicle?
We have that open hatch on top, by the way, if you need
Yeah.
to make it.
The vehicle on the back. The vehicle that we were all in. How does it look for that? Well, they probably didn't see.
Yeah, like
Whether or
like
not
just-
whether or not they saw anything, I don't know, because I was sat in the back seat, and then sort of like one moment I'm there, the next
Certainly
moment
wasn't.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So maybe someone just turns around, like just note where's Minim. Okay.
oh, he's done his thing again.
Yeah.
The camera pans in on the rear view mirror, and Stacen's just frowning, like, "What?"
Nice.
Not again.
Okay, so if you're not doing anything else, that will be your turn.
Well, I think that's all I can. That's my action. So
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, just keep it easier. Let's say that's true. Okay, so Shaq, it is your turn. So you're being dragged along, or actually no, you got swung kind of out to the front of the vehicle. You're floating on your rope, and suddenly two giant robots, the like of which you've never seen before, have jumped out in your path.
Are these robots like these things are enormous? Would they count?
They're like building sized, basically.
Can we also confer on what the plan is as well? Like, are we allowed to do that?
Yeah, like talking is a free
'Cause
action.
I,
You can...
I'm just wondering, because we've got Shaq on a rope, if we were to do the old at round the legs,
yes,
I can totally see that. Let's say it's
maybe
like a
not like on all of them. Obviously, it's just rope, but it's
Yeah,
probably through one of them.
well, let's say it's a thick metal cable rather than rope.
I was using my ropes, which are, stronger than.
Oh yeah, she got those upgraded by various technologists along the other way. So let's say the strength of the rope shouldn't be a concern.
Yeah. My plan was to, I asked for a little metal sheet. I was gonna essentially, was it surf out the back of the
Oh, I like it.
Nice.
car,
Yeah.
and then use that to just slingshot me into the leg of one of the things.
We'll
so it
have
can
two
slash
of
it.
you out the back then, so that could look really amazing.
Yeah. In fact, I
Well,
mean,
not out the back, one out the front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
not to railroad you or guide you too much, but you do have. Let's move those a little bit closer. So you do have one on each side of the road. Food for
Yeah.
thought.
Food for minimum.
So
But anyways, it's Shaq. You're up.
yeah. So Shaq's turn first.
Okay, so I I don't like the Star Trek movies, so I'm not too interested in doing an AT-AT move.
Fine. No,
What?
I wasn't trying to railroad you, man. It's just
Oh,
an idea.
I know. I understand. I'm just saying that this is the thing that I want to do. This is called posterize, and that's when you dunk on somebody so hard that they fall over. And I can increase the target's weight dramatically. The target is pulled to the ground and can't move physically under its power for 1 minute.
Awesome.
Within short range. If this applies to building size mechs, that's what I would be interested in doing.
Yeah, so let's see. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna just slightly break the order just to make things easier. I'm gonna put actually Station up top. So I'm gonna have you like determine how you're gonna drive and how you're gonna move, and then the others can kind of play off that because I think that makes more sense.
Okay, well, I'm carrying on down the road, but I'm going to go between Mech 1 and Min. I can't say your name. Minim.
There you go.
That mech. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, just like carrying on the road. Okay, so let's say while you do that, while you're doing that, initiative can get like a bit tricky sometime with driving and stuff like this. Okay, so basically, as you're doing that, they're going to be attacking you, just like shooting a barrage of rockets, trying to hit the road ahead of where you're driving.
Right.
So let's have you make a speed roll to like get around that or otherwise deal with it. These guys are level 6, so it's going to be a difficulty 6.
Okay, let's go with that and
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so you do indeed successfully swerve in a cool manner between this traces and stuff. Feel free to add a description if you like, but you're going to be ending up kind of like roughly here or something. So you're driving basically, you successfully drive in between these two mechs and end up on the other side.
yeah, I fake right and then I basically spin left to dodge between the two.
Yeah, nice. Cool. Okay, so that is Dason's turn, and now Shaq, like with that in mind, how the car is moving, you can describe how you pull off your posterize move.
Okay.
Actually,
So
sorry, hold on. Actually, better roll first, I guess. So which one are you doing it against? Mech 1.
I'm going to do it on the north one.
Yeah.
And just kind of the idea is that, like, with that burst of speed, I'm back behind the car, being roped around again. So what I'm going to do is yank the rope as hard as I can to have me like come down onto the car's hood, and then I'm going to jump off of the car's hood, just whip down, jump back off, and just slam my crotch into the face of this thing of the mech. I will be using the hoopogram to create a hologram hoop above him that I dunk on, and I dunk on him so hard that he's crushed by his own weight for a minute.
Awesome. Okay, so go ahead and give me a roll. It's difficulty 6. Yeah, it's I'm gonna like you kind of have an asset from all this momentum and stuff, but it also makes it more difficult. So I'm gonna say that evens out.
Okay. Let me see this. Hang on one sec. I'm trying to figure out if I'm trained in this or not.
Yeah, no problem. So you might have something like training in speed or might attacks, or you might be trained or specialized in this particular move. Or you might have like a relevant skill, perhaps, that might cover it.
I do have a specialization in jumping.
No, I'm going to say that doesn't quite cover it.
That works. All right, then I'm gonna call this untrained.
Yep, fair enough.
Difficulty 6, no assets. Here we go. Oh no.
Okay, so as you like trampoline up off the car, you know, up towards the and you project this hoop that you you know, dunk your way through. The mech, let's say it you know, looks up at you with kind of the robot equivalent of like surprised eyes, and activates rocket boosters on its front that just jam it backwards into the building behind it, which kind of crumbles around it. So let's see. Well, you can choose either you just like miss it and crash down onto the ground, or you basically bounce off it, having missed your target.
I think I'd like to bounce and just be, well, no, I think I'm gonna hit the ground.
Okay, yeah, I presume actually you're still attached onto the rope.
I think I probably would have let go of the rope. Right
Okay,
then.
fair enough. Yep, that's cool. Okay, so you ready up this spectacular slam as your opening move, but unfortunately the mech is just too big and quick for you. You're not really used to opponents having rocket boosters to maneuver with.
Most of my basketball cultist friends do not have rockets.
Yeah, so it just scoots out the way, and you go crashing down into the kind of wreckage in front of it where it was, as the car continues roaring past you. While that happens, and that is your turn. Actually, wait, let's see. No, I'm not going to give you any damage from that. So, Varix, what do you do?
So how far away are we from the...
You can use the ruler.
It's like quite a ways, right? It's like 300 meters or something like that.
From where?
Oh wait, no, the car is here now.
Yeah.
It's close. Okay.
Yeah.
So 40, 30, 40.
But in terms of like movement speed, you have momentum and stuff, and plus just fudge it. You can assume that you can move longer distances than normal.
Because we're in a moving vehicle, right? So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, my move is like kind of spread out between all of yours, kind of.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I have
pretty
to,
much.
what I'm doing is kind of facilitating your goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Driving.
Okay, so let's see, what can I do? I think I will try and just tackle one of them. Like they have legs, right? They're mechas.
Yeah, that bipedal.
So maybe the one that... So Shaq, are you still on top of the mech, or you bounced off of it?
Yeah, he's. I'm going to say he bounced off it and he crashed into the rubble of the building that is in front of the mech.
All right, so I'm sort of like surfing off, and as the car swerves around, I just also, let myself be flung off the car and just have like a football tackle against one of the
nice.
legs joints.
Like,
Let's
I think,
keep it sports.
yeah, I think that would definitely work in like a Metal Gear Solid cutscene type style, where it's just like a static shot of this mech, and suddenly this huge like cannonball of this giant Naga creature just slams into the leg with such momentum that, well, let's find out what happens. So he's level 6, and this can be might or speed, I'd say.
Okay, so that's a normal attack, I would imagine.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, if anything on your sheet applies, feel free to suggest it.
Yeah. Alright.
Nice. All right. So let's see. I'm going to say like a full-on body tackle with your character is definitely going to count as a heavy. In fact, I'm going to say it's more than that. It's 8 damage. I think with this, since you're attacking from a car, I'm going to add 12 onto that.
My mic just cut out. Can you say that again?
So I think that's going to add up to 12 damage. Oh, and plus 17, you get 1 more as well. So 13 damage. Nice.
Nice.
In fact, yeah, I think that's actually enough that as you slam into it, it kind of slips on some rubble and it lands awkwardly, and it seems to damage the kind of, joints and actuators and stuff on that leg. So it goes kind of stumbling back, and it kind of collapses back against the rubble. It's not completely disabled, but you seem to have at least impaired its kind of movement and done a pretty hefty whack of damage as well. Nice. So that is your turn.
Can I use my tail to like cling to it as it stunts back, or?
Yeah, sure. If you want to say that you're like clung onto its leg now and you're kind of grappled with it, that's fine. Cool. So now the mechs have a turn. So let's start with mech 1. It's just been, suffered a pretty serious attack. Let's see. It's got Shaq in front of it, and Barracks clung onto its leg. Yeah, I'm going to say it like Shaq is right in front of it, so I think it's going to attack him. Let's see. Actually, yeah, I'm going to say, so it's going to basically do a combined gun and rocket attack without moving in the direction of Shaq, but it's kind of spraying a line that's going to go kind of like this across the road, and it's going to be threatening to catch the car as it goes past as well. So both Shaq and Stason make a defense. It can be might or speed. I'm going to say Stason, it's going to, like a might one would count in for just the armor of the car. Yeah, difficulty 6.
Okay, I am trained in speed defense.
Cool. Okay, yeah. So you can do a speed defense and be trained. Oof.
No, Jack.
It's alright, I'm the big cactus.
The might one was okay to do, right?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, I have mastery of that as well, so let's try that.
Oh dear. So basically, as the mech kind of rockets its way back into the rubble of the building, and at the same time Barracks is just slamming into its leg and causing it to topple back as well. Shaq goes, I'm going to slightly retcon. Shaq is like swinging out on his rope from the car, trying to through this hoop and trying to do a mega dunk onto the mech, but because he mistimes it, basically the mech sees Shaq just like slamming down in front of it, and it just activates all the weapons that are pointing forward, basically all of its close defense weapons, and this just like anime style rocket barrage along with a whole bunch of tracers and smoke and stuff just shoots out over the space where he is, and there's kind of an explosion he's kind of sent flying, and at the same time the shots carry on like towards the road, and they basically likewise, there's a big flurry of explosions around the Stason-mobile as, let's see, I think I'm just going to conflate the Stason-mobile's health with yours, Stason. So you're going to take 12 damage minus, but let's say the car is armored, so take 3 off, so you're going to take 9 damage from might.
Damn.
And Shaq, you are going to take 12 damage minus any armor.
Okay. Now, I just want to point out, just for the sake of the visualization here, that again, the posterization move, the posterize is when you slam your crotch into somebody's head.
Okay.
So, I did get all of those missiles to my crotch.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I imagine there's like a shot where it's just like
the reproductive bud now? I mean, I haven't used it yet.
That's all he's got left.
I think there's a shot where the camera is just attached onto one of the missiles as it's just flying towards you, and we just catch a glimpse of like Shaq with his legs wide open trying to faceplant this mech, and just like his eyes are wide just before there's this big explosion as the missile hits, and he goes flying away. So let's say you get, that's the point at which you get kind of slammed onto the rubble. Let's say kind of around here.
Welcome to the jam.
So that is mech 1. Mech 2, let's see. I'm going to say it hasn't noticed Minim just appearing on top of its head because it doesn't really have like a sense of, touch, basically. So it is going to, let's see, it almost gets hit by the kind of line of fire that gets shot across the runway, and it basically tries to do a kind of intersecting field of fire and also try and attack the Stason-mobile. So Stason, go ahead and let's see. I'm going to say, because this is all happening so quickly and because it's a big machine, it's kind of slightly doing a kind of the equivalent of a snapshot, and it's not really able to aim too well. So some of its shots are actually going to fly, whether it hits the Stason-mobile or not, they're going to fly towards Mech 1 and potentially hit Barracks. So again, Stason and also this time Barracks, make me another defense, level 6.
Oh man. Taking a beating here. 6. And this is might, yeah?
Again, it can be either speed if you're trying to dodge, or might if you're just trying to absorb it with the armor.
I think I'll go speed because I've taken a beating to my might. Let's go to that one.
Nice. And
My stat pool didn't update then. Should it have? It should when you do the API one, right?
yeah, it should do. It's really annoying. Sometimes it can be a bit janky.
Is it about 17 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it doesn't work, then just do it manually, basically.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so Stathan handily swerves out of the way of that fire. And Barracks, is that your defense roll, the 7 to 6? Nice. And that's might as well. So a few of these stray rounds fly towards you. Several machine gun bullets basically just ping off the leg around you, and they also ping off your kind of armor and scales. And let's say a couple of rockets explode nearby, and there's some shrapnel, but you just cling on to the mech's leg, and you emerge unscathed from that.
Since I'm using my tail to basically attach myself, I'm using one arm to just brush some of that dirt off my shoulder.
Oh, nice. So that is the mech's turn. Now it is Nye.
Okay, see, I suppose I should go for Minim's mech because the other one has more attention.
Mm-hmm.
Does that seem reasonable? Unless, Minim, you have some fancy plans for it?
Well, how well whatever I do works is, I don't know. Do whatever you want.
Right. Okay, so hooking both my swords onto the swords onto the car, I pay out the line and jump off the back onto the little thing of metal. I sort of skateboarder onto it. And using the sort of momentum of the car going around the corner, I pull in the line and essentially yank the swords up towards me.
Cool.
Fly off towards the leg, which I want to sort of essentially go for the ankle.
Yeah, nice.
In that way.
I'm going to say, maybe it's part of the technology that's been gradually added to your swords, or maybe it's just the sheer, anime-like power level that you have at this stage. But I think you can, or maybe it's the Metal Gear Solid theme that we're playing with. But basically, I'm going to say at this stage, your swords can do the thing where, you make this mighty strike and there's, a line of light, and then you can just potentially have, slice through some big metal leg or whatever it is. Okay, so make
a Grey Fox this.
Yeah, exactly. So, make me a attack difficulty 6, and I figure this is going to be might.
26. Yeah. So I am specialized in heavy weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. I'm going to put 3 effort in because I want this to work.
Nice. All right. So you do indeed successfully do a Raiden slice against this thing's leg, and let's just go ahead and say you cut its foot off, or rather, you cut it off its foot, because its foot just stays there on the ground, and it kind of steps back and then awkwardly clunks down onto its ankle, and it also stumbles back against the building that it has its back to. Although this one doesn't quite collapse, it just kind of creaks and groans a bit.
Things being cut off their legs is becoming a theme.
Yeah.
That's
Whenever it's doing it around, there's feet and stuff.
So Minim, as it's leaning back against this building, there's there's kind of a roof behind you now. Cool. Okay, so let's see.
and everyone gets 1 bonus to their rolls in combat now.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. So you heavy weapon 6. Let's say the momentum is going to give you another 2/8. Okay, so you do 8 damage to this thing. You cut off its foot, which makes it rather more awkward for it to move, but it doesn't seem to completely impair its ability to walk. Cool. Okay, so that's your turn, and now Roderick, if you like, you can join in some way.
Yeah, can I climb up to the mech one's knee?
Yeah. Yeah.
Try and stab in.
Cool. Okay. So, and it, yeah, like, are you kind of still trying to hide yourself from the group, or do you let yourself be seen at this point? Okay. So, unseen to the rest of the group, some little blighter is clinging to the other leg of Mech 1 and stabbing his sword into a vulnerable point on the joints. So go ahead, Roderick, and give me a. Actually, I'm going to say, because it's taken a bit of a beating and it's been beaten back against the building and stuff. Let's say it's level 5 for this one.
Okay. Speak.
Ooh. All right. So let's see. So you you tried to stab into a vulnerable part of the joint in this knee. Let's see. But you just find that it's simply too armored and metallic. A part that you thought was like a soft kind of hydraulic hose turns out to be kind of metal and armored, and your sword just bounces off it. As yet, nothing else happens, but something will in the course of time. Apart from that, that is your turn. So let us roll initiative again. So just click on your icon and then roll the initiative in your character sheet.
Ones.
All right, are we all done? It looks like we're done.
No, not quite. I can't seem to select Shack right now, which is weird.
Move a bit. Does that help? Oh, I think you got your ruler activated. You need to click on the arrow.
Clever.
He knows things.
Wow, nice. Okay.
Well.
This time you did get a natural 20, so before anything else happens, you get a free action. Like a free full move.
Sweet. If I am still next to this Joker, I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to do a crush move, aka a dunk, on this guy.
Nice.
And, it is a bashing two-handed attack with my glass ball. And there's a -1 penalty to the attack roll, but there are 3 points of extra damage.
Cool. Nice. Okay, so it's
Just -1 and not 1 level.
yeah. So that'd be adding 1. It sounds like onto the difficulty.
Right.
Okay. So
but then increasing the damage as well.
Right, and then it was it's a level 5 right now. So the difficulty
yeah.
plus
It's
1
level
is 6.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna say, come on and slam. Welcome to the jam.
Oh no!
Oh no.
He does not get welcomed to the jam. What does happen in this failed attack?
Let me see.
I think you need.
I imagine I just go like I the thing is that I've got my flight still, and I'm not used to jamming with flight on, so I go up in the
That's
air
cheating.
and I just go right past him, like whoops. Whoa.
Nice. Okay, so you're going off tumbling into the air. That is your. Oh wait, no, that is your free turn that you get at the beginning,
Yeah,
and now because you're also at the top of the initiative order, it's your turn again.
So as I fly past him, unexpectedly, I realize that there's a building in front of me that I can bounce off of
Nice.
to come back through and go for another one. This time I'm gonna just do a regular attack, rather than a full dunk. So I'm just gonna take my ball and kind of try and slam it into the creature itself, rather than, activating my hoopogram.
Yeah. Very nice. So that would be just a normal difficulty 5 attack.
Okay. Good.
Oh no, he's having a bad game.
I'm a human pinball right now.
You really need to start using effort.
I'm not using effort. I don't really know how, so that's why I haven't. Oops.
It's so each level of effort that you spend is going to decrease the difficulty by 1, so that'll make the target number lower. What is it? The first one costs 3.
Every
and
subsequent one is 2.
Yeah, but then from that cost, your edge gets subtracted. If you want, you can go ahead and actually. I'm going to let you re-roll that.
Yeah, okay. I should be able to give like 2 free.
Yeah, you get 2 free if you've got an edge of 4.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
snap. Yeah, I've got an edge of 5.
Yeah,
so-
and then you can also invest points to spend further efforts as well, up to your maximum effort.
Okay. All right. I think I've got that. All right. Awesome. That's way better.
Hey.
Very
Yay.
nice. All right, so this one is successful. What's your weapon? Is it? Oh wait, you're a glaive, so I'm going to assume that it's heavy.
It's a medium bashing because it can be used. It can be slammed one-handed, and the difference between heavy and medium is that heavy can never be used one-handed. So this is a medium bashing.
Okay.
If I give him a +1 because of my impressive fighting, does that mean he's a 19 and therefore?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
It has to be a natural one, though, right?
So because Nai fights with panache, when you're fighting alongside her, you get to put 1 in the bonus box, which increases your roll. So that would take you to a 19. So what that does is, so it's a medium weapon that does 4 damage. Rolling a 19 gives you 3 bonus damage. And let's see. Oh, I guess you don't have a minor
I do.
effect.
I have an extra effect as well. It's called
yeah?
Slayer in the rules as written. I renamed it Big Diesel.
Yeah.
And whenever I strike an NPC or creature level 5 or lower, and this thing is level 5 right now, I can make another roll. And if I succeed on the second roll, I kill the target outright.
Oh, badass! All right, go ahead and roll another roll as well. Then, in that case.
Okay, I'm gonna add the. Is that a bonus that I get from 9?
It's 1 bonus,
Okay, awesome.
which is like a mini asset.
It's going down for real.
Oh! So
All right.
you.
So Shaq was like lazy for this whole time. He didn't put in any effort, and like now that he's got his head in the game.
All right, so
But that is so Shaq, though, isn't it?
Welcome to the big leagues, Shaq.
So with 1 destructive shot, you destroy this mech. How does it happen?
I just slam my ball straight through its freaking big metal chest. I bounce off the building, and just like leave I stretch out my whole body like a string bean from the wall, and I've got the ball in front of me, and me and the ball just plunge through it.
All right, and as this happens, a whole bunch of camera drones that turn out to have been flying alongside you, like, flash up their lights and let out on the speakers for like 3 seconds, and then as you slam down onto the ground at its feet, it staggers backwards and starts doing the different parts of it are like exploding with little explosions, and energy lines are coming out across it, and it basically it explodes. But let's say that Barracks has enough time, and Rogerick have enough time to escape from it before it explodes in a huge, lovely explosion that leaves fiery light flickering off the nearby buildings.
Looks like you just got a taste of Shaq Fu.
So it is now out of the game. Right, so that was your proper turn, Shaq. Now it is... Hold on, to get rid of Mech 1. So now it's Mech 2. It turns and sees its compatriot getting just royally slammed and destroyed in basically one mighty hit. It lets out a kind of warbling, distressed moan, and let's see. Okay, yeah. So what it does is, so the first thing it does is, and this is a result of the 1 that was rolled earlier. It pops up a little hatch on its shoulder, and a red flare goes shooting up into the air, and let's need to quickly get an icon for this. you hear the thrum of distant motors. Sorry, not motor, rotors, as a air vehicle approaches from off to the south. It's a strange craft compared to the ones you've seen. Oh, why isn't it turning? Compared to the ones that you've seen before. Ugh. Why can I not rotate it? There we go. It kind of looks a bit like the body of a bird, but it has these strange rotating arms above it that are whirring very quickly and enabling it to hover above the ground as it approaches through, kind of winding through the buildings. And let's see, let's say Stason is able to he's able to recognize this as a strange war machine called a Hind D. Metal Gear reference.
Who wants the D?
Anyway, so this
It's going to swat down a couple of bothersome flies.
yeah, exactly. So it that thing approaches and enters the battlefield. It's going to say that has. Let's say that's going to have initiative 18 as well. Okay, so that approaches, that's the first thing that Mech 2 does. The second thing is it activates a defense shield that basically crackles out over its form, and then, so it's kind of wearing it like a skin, and then it expands outwards into a bubble. This is going to do damage to anyone who is currently like on it or attached to it. So that's going to be Minim or Nigh, or I say it's going to do damage. You can do a might or speed defense, difficulty 6.
Okay.
So wait, it's firing at the mech.
No. See, the mech. The chopper has entered the scene, but it's not doing anything else for now.
Okay.
The mech that you're on is activating this like energy shield is coating over it and then expanding outwards. So it's basically going to try and kind of push you off and damage you in the process, unless you succeed this defense, difficulty 6.
Okay, speed, wasn't
It's speed or might.
it?
Can I just try to? Well, I guess that would be might defense, wouldn't it? Like try to just hold on.
Yeah. If you do a might defense and you succeed, you can still be clinging onto it.
All right. Let's go. And what level?
6.
I might just have to take it.
I have some
I'm
sort
gonna
of
succeed
protective
this.
thing, but I don't think it counts because we're not next to each other.
Oh, if I fail this, do I get knocked off?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Or, well, no, let's see if you want. If you fail, you can take damage but stay holding on.
Yeah, could I just
Bear in mind
decide to
it's-
take damage?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so you can just literally just basically grip onto the thing, ignore or, withstand the like blast of energy that goes through you as this thing activates its shield. That will be 12 damage minus any armor.
Yeah, I'll do that. Because using effort would have done just about as much.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so you're still clung to the top of it, whereas Nigh, you had to dodge away to the side, but you're still kind of roughly at its feet. However, getting through that shield might be a problem. Okay, so that's the turn of Mech 2. Let's just quickly get this thing a name. Oops. So the Hind D pops up from behind a building, and you see from a kind of pod on the front of it, several lasers kind of shoot out. Targeting lasers essentially. Let's see. I think they're going to target Shaq, actually, since he did just destroy that other mech. So, let's see. Yeah, it shoots several missiles at you. Oops. Oh, okay, Barracks has to go. Yep, no worries. I will see you around. So yeah, Shaq, it's firing several missiles at you, so it's going to be a level 6 defense.
Okay. Speed defense level 6.
Yep. Or as usual, like with most attacks, like kind of regular attacks like this, you can do speed to try and dodge it, or a might defense to try and kind of absorb it.
I like speed.
Yeah. And by the way, that doesn't necessarily mean like, you know, if a missile's flying at you and you do a might defense, it doesn't necessarily mean, you know, literally just tanking the missile itself, but it means it'll kind of land near you and you're, you know, just absorbing the shrapnel and stuff, basically.
Okay. I'm gonna try and dodge out of the way. I like jumping.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna dodge.
Nice. Cool. Okay, so you you see this thing coming towards you, and you just do a quick like. I kind of like the idea of like he just kind of stands up to it, like holding the ball in 2 hands in front of his chest, and he does that move where he kind of spins around, like 360 degrees while moving around to the side. Yeah, the pivot, exactly. Just pivots around this thing as it goes flying past him and blows up a building behind him.
Because you know I won't travel even though I'm with the transporter.
Yeah, exactly. Very nice. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, let's say that's its turn. I'm also going to say it gets a move where it basically like fires up its engines, and it just it gains height basically and climbs up to a height of about let's say 100 feet. So that's its turn. Now it is Minim. So you've just endured this energy shockwave, but you're now still on the mech and inside its energy shield. Minim?
Has he gone?
I didn't realize that I was still muted. Yeah, I figured that because we're doing this whole Metal Gear theme, I should just like dive straight into that, and which is why I absolutely must be within slashing range of this Metal Gear. I've got a ability called Enhanced Phased Attack, which means that when I attack, it completely ignores armor and it does an extra 5 damage.
Oh, very nice.
So I figure Minim's just going to do a Zandatsu on
Absolutely.
this Metal Gear, because his fingers are basically lightsabers at this point.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay, so
So he just shouts, "This is my normal!"
Alright, so that's going to be a attack difficulty 6.
Sick. Because it hasn't found me yet, would I get any benefit toward that?
Actually, yeah, because you like got in right close and you can kind of choose, you know, the kind of weak point near it to attack. Yeah, let's say you get a asset.
Cool. And pop some effort in this one. Let's hope this works. Yay.
Very nice. So that's your. So what damage are you doing with that?
4 for the medium weapon, then another 5.
Reet. Okay, so that's 9, and then you get an extra 1 for getting a 17, so that's 10. And 2, 3, 4. Okay, and kind of whereabouts on its body are you attacking it, if
It's
anywhere
like
in particular?
nape of the neck sort of thing.
Cool. Okay, so you do your like floating in the air in front of it, slashing your claws wildly as
In slow
you know.
motion. Well, it's
yeah,
in slow motion, I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a slash effect, slash across the screen. You basically rip apart like the back of its neck, and sparks and stuff like fly out of it, and you know, you clearly do a very hefty amount of damage to it, as well as, let's say, you basically like remove the armor on that part of it, like you kind of expose it, kind of thing. As is your wont. Cool. Okay, so you do a decent chunk of damage to that. It looks in pretty bad shape. that is the end of your turn, and now it's Nye.
Okay, what would it take to get inside the shield? Would that be difficult?
That's a good question. Let me see. I'll just look this up.
Because I'm thinking either I keep at this or I try and get up to the helicopter.
Yeah.
Which would probably, I'd need to climb on top of a building or something.
Okay, I'm going to say slightly unorthodox, but if you want to get through the shield, it's going to take you a turn. You'll basically have to... basically, you'll make a might defense against potentially 12 damage and a difficulty 6.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, I think Minim
You
has
could-
this pretty
you
well
could-
in hand.
I mean, you could call Minim and let him know that you want to be in there as soon as he can do that,
Right. Well, you know what?
before going and doing something more important.
I'm going to get up high so I can make an attempt to grapple onto this helicopter.
Cool. Let's say, like...
And if say, the shield does go down, also just jump down back onto the mech and...
Yeah. I'm going to say, like, just kind of a flavor. Let's say Stason is still, like, driving his car along through these bullets and explosions and stuff, and you're able to kind of, like, you know, you skid it off on this sheet metal thing to surf over to the mech, and he's kind of carried on down the road, and if you want, you can now have a scene where you're, like, Tarzan swing over it through a like ruined building and like latch onto his car as it's going past and use that as the kind of momentum to try and jump up towards the hind D and grapple it.
Okay.
That sound cool?
Fire my sword up and sort of wall run along a building
Awesome.
in an arc.
Nice. Okay, I'm going to say, because it's quite a distance and it's going to be difficult to get up there, I'm going to say getting up there is going to be your move. It's going to be speed, difficulty 6.
Okay. Let's see. Would I say that's acrobatics? So it'd be specialized.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that.
definitely.
Um,
This is nice bag.
here we go. Okay.
Very nice. Okay, so you successfully do that move as described, and you end up, yeah, as you say, like kind of grappling onto the Stationmobile 2 as it's careering along the road. You get flung up, and you kind of do a cool wall run along the wall, and then leap up with your swords shooting out on their ropes, and you clamp onto the onto the undercarriage of the helicopter. So that's where you are. I'm going to say that's your turn.
Okay. Well, hopefully that doesn't stop me
yeah.
from blowing it up.
All right, so Varix is gone. Do we have Stason back? No, it sounds like he's gone AFK.
Like
That's
say,
fine.
I'm hanging from the thing by my swords, but it's, you know, I'm about 10 foot down from it or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so
20 foot.
Stason presumably is still AFK. Let's say he used his move to do that maneuver with you, basically. So now Rogorek gets a turn.
Okay, so now he's dealing with the helicopter right now.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say no to some help.
Well, I don't know how much I can help you without revealing myself.
Oh yeah, we still don't know you're even there.
Yeah, just for context, no one in the party has met or become at all aware of Rogorek so far. Yeah, but he did basically win the take over the spaceship for them last time and basically win the battle for them, despite still being unknown. So yeah, I mean, you can take any other kind of action that you want, Rogorek. You could, I don't know if you have any ciphers or artifacts or anything like that, you could potentially use as well.
It's an artifact. Yes, guys. No, nothing that would be. I guess I could attempt helping with the helicopter without revealing myself. So how high up is it?
It climbed up and gained height, so it's about 100 feet up.
Is there like a building that's about the same height as it?
Yeah, for cinematic effect, let's say that when Nye hooked onto it with her swords, it kind of tilted it a bit. So when careering over, it kind of drifted over this direction a bit, and this right here to its right is like a kind of flat skyscrapery kind of tower that reaches up. Yeah, but what the hell? Let's say it's kind of roughly the same level as the helicopter.
Okay, so I guess I'll try. I have a grappling hook, so I'll try and grapple up there and climb.
Cool. And then do you want to? Let's see. Let's have you make a speed roll difficulty. Let's say 4 to get up there, and if you succeed, then you can also do a roll afterwards. So your grapple is kind of functions like an extended move action.
Okay. Let's succeed.
Cool. Okay, so you successfully grapple your way, Titanfall style, up onto the top of the building. So you're kind of roughly level with and vaguely nearby to the helicopter as it's trying to correct for the weight of night suddenly on it.
So what does this thing look like exactly?
It looks exactly like a Russian Hind D. That is an attack. That is an attack helicopter.
Okay. Is there a possibility that I can just like cut off the rotors?
Sure, yeah. I mean, you know, they're spinning very fast. So are you just wanting to
Like,
kind
is
of do that?
Is there a bit that connects the rotors to the helicopter? Which I can
Yeah,
cut
there
off?
is. There is a main linkage that, I mean, still going to be... Well, yeah, I mean, you're at level 6. So if you want to be basically making... Yeah, let's say it's close enough that you can do like a leaping swipe type thing. I will say that you're going to take some big damage if you fail it. But let's say... Yeah, if you succeed, I think it's probably pretty much going to kill it.
Would this count as a surprise attack?
Yeah, let's say it does.
To everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a level 6 enemy, so it's going to be definitely 6.
Okay. So the surprise attack reduces it by 2. So I think, yeah, so this should be an automatic success, hopefully.
Nice. Okay, so you do indeed appearing out of nowhere, and I presume that you're going to want to like be, you know, not seen doing this either.
Yeah.
Cool. So, you know, whoever is paying attention or not, they suddenly hear a kind of metallic shriek and a whir as the rotor blades of this helicopter just go pinwheeling up into the sky, and the body of it just drops like a stone towards the ground.
So just before letting go of the helicopter, I think Ramon, damn, I'm good.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, let's say you know you rock it towards one side. You rock the helicopter rather towards one side, so it's kind of heading towards the building, and then you just hear this kind of shearing metal sound as it seems to kind of break, and yeah, I assume you kind of swing in a cool manner off its undercarriage and into the building beside it, maybe.
Yeah, another
Cool.
3-point landing, maybe with a bit of a skid.
I think like a 3-point landing with a skid, but like down the side of the building, secured by one of your swords on a rope. Cool. So the chopper just falls straight to the ground and explodes in a huge fireball of munitions and stuff. And instantly,
I do not look at it.
yeah, absolutely.
Of course not.
Cool. Okay, so that was Rogarek's very successful turn. Let us. Yeah, let's go ahead and just roll initiative again.
You fuck up.
All right, so is that all done? I guess so. Cool. So Minim did not get a 20, but you do go first.
Cool. Alright, I guess.
So you're on kind of the back of its shoulders, basically, and you've just fucked up its neck.
Yeah, I will. Got a lot of things I can do, but they will like take full actions. I know. I will make a portal next to me, and then a portal next to Nye, which will hang around for a minute. So, like, the shield's not going to be doing much.
Yep. Cool. Okay. Oops, just made you explode. Okay, right, that's your turn if you spend the effort for that. Now the mech is going to react, and having been heavily damaged by some kind of intruder on its back, which it can't tell, exactly where you are, I'm going to say it basically just... Okay, no, I know what it does. It basically does like a death blossom, and it just spins its torso around its waist. So it's trying to both throw you off if it can, and at the same time it's just shooting all its weapons in a circle around it. So let's have everyone make a defense. Let's say for Minim, it's going to be difficulty 6 speed defense. For everyone else, it's going to be a level 4 defense, speed or might.
Everyone?
Yep.
What
just
just happened?
It's firing indiscriminately.
It's doing a death blossom and just spinning around and shooting the entire area around it, and just basically leveling all the buildings here as it tries to kind of save itself.
Shock trips over his gigantic shoes.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so I think that's everyone. Okay, so Shaq, you take... let's see. I'm going to say because it's firing blindly, it's less... it's going to be 8 minus whatever armor or whatever other effects you have. Everyone else just kind of takes cover and ducks their heads down as these munitions go flying overhead, and there's shrapnel and rubble everywhere, but you do not get hit. So that is the mech's turn, and now Blaze, having been just shaken up by this attack, you have a turn. Sorry, Shaq, has a turn.
Right.
The portal's like on... I guess if Nye's like near it, then the portal's on the floor also near it, if he wants to go for that, but it's up to you.
Well, I'm sort of hanging off the side of a building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, Nye is actually over... Oops, nope. Nye is kind of located over here. So let's say you can recon it and say the portal is next to Shaq.
I
If you want, it's up to you.
put it in the middle of
Well,
everyone.
it's
There you go,
cool.
easy.
Yeah. All right. So what I'm thinking is, rather than, so this is like something I can do without really physically interacting with it, but I'm going to physically interact with it anyway. I'm going to do what this is called the gravity cleave, and I renamed it the slam and jam. So the deal is that I'm going to slam part of it downward with the power of gravity, and then slam and then jam another chunk of it upward. So it's going to like kind of tear if this is successful.
I think unless you have any objections, I think it would be cool if you've been blown up and stuff. Let's say you got blown up kind of onto the ruins of one of the buildings nearby to the road, and you see the portal open up in the road, and looking down through the portal, you can see the back of this thing's neck. So what I'm imagining is that you basically just do a massive jump off your building, ball first through the portal, so that you suddenly appear next to Minim and just slam into its neck and activate your gravity and stuff to cleave it in twain, or try to. Right. Cool. So go ahead and make your attack. Let's say I think it's going to be difficulty 5 at this stage.
Okay.
Nice. All right. So you successfully do that, and what does it say about damage and stuff for that?
It is 6 points of damage.
Nice. And is that in addition to your weapon damage, or?
I don't know. I don't know if that is or not.
You know what? It's near the end of the session. I'm going to say yes, it is, because that will successfully kill it.
Nice.
I like this. So you go slamming through this portal and just pop out of it on the other side with great speed, just dunking your ball onto the equivalent of this thing's head, and it just basically face plants, but
but I'm not done yet because then I jam it upward. So I grab the legs because I just shot its head toward the ground. I grab its legs and take off into the air again.
Nice. And with all the like gravitational forces like surging towards you as you do that, and the damage that this thing has already taken, including having its foot chopped off, basically it's kind of a waist joint which it just span around on. So in fact, let's say you actually do this as it's still spinning around and doing its death blossom thing. So with the spinning momentum that it already has, and then suddenly being slammed and jammed in a vicious and brutal manner like this, it's just too much force for the waist joint to take, and it just basically breaks in half and goes like as it the light goes out in its eyes and it deactivates. So you're left in a smoking, crater-filled, much destroyed battlefield. Let's see. So Johnny 6 like drives up to you at this point, and all of the camera drones and stuff and whatnot are also kind of here and like flashing and whirring and spinning around you and stuff. And all the on their speakers, you can hear all of the robots and war machines inside the facility, like whooping and cheering, saying, "Oh, that was so amazing! Oh, you know, inflicted class 4 damage on an ATXB defense unit, yeah, all that kind of stuff." And so they're super happy with it.
I love their enthusiasm.
I say to them, if you like that, just wait to see what you guys do in this upcoming battle. It's going to be great.
So at that stage, you have defeated the defenses of the facility, and after collecting yourselves, and go ahead and use your 1 action or 10-minute breaks. But in any case, you're able to now kind of roam more or less freely around the facility. We're kind of short on time, so I won't give you too much of a advanced tour, but basically all around the surface here are a lot of stuff like refueling and repairing and refitting facilities, so that vehicles which are on the top side can just kind of come here and get fixed up and stuff, and then return without having to go straight down into the storage facility itself. What you see, there's like a big highway type thing in the middle, and up to the north and south, that basically goes into a tunnel, or goes into tunnels that lead underground. So this, I mean, it's even bigger than a highway. It's like kind of the equivalent of like, you know, at least a 12-lane highway, maybe bigger, to accommodate all these giant war machines and stuff, and you know, allow them to transport between the surface and below. Johnny 6 takes you down the tunnel, and he's still kind of babbling and like burbling at you basically about how awesome your victory was, and he seems like totally pumped and like the robot equivalent of like buzzing with adrenaline, having seen this awesome battle. And he's like, "Oh, we got all the metrics recorded on that. We're going to be able to replay that anytime we're like. You're going to be the heroes of our story. Oh, you're so awesome. We got to live on in our memory banks forever," and this kind of stuff. But as he trundles down the passage, you basically get confronted with, so basically the tunnel ahead of you is like broken and smashed. There's a big kind of empty blank area that's filled with like half destroyed kind of rubble and structures, although it's like open enough that you could move through it. And then beyond that is just this big kind of wall of debris and dirt, and just beyond part of it you can see kind of the glint of glass. So Johnny 6 turns to you and kind of puts its arms on the equivalent of its hips and says, "Well, this is the obstruction."
You're not wrong.
So it says, let's see. Yeah, I won't give like basically it says, we tried blasting through it, but most of the weapons are deactivated because we're all marked to repair. So we haven't really been able to blast through it too well. And there's only a couple of us still intact on this side, so bit of a problem.
Minim have a little wander through to see where the other side of the obstruction is.
Yeah, sure. So basically, how to describe this? So basically, the ground that this tunnel passes through is kind of cleft. It has a big gouge in it that's more or less open to the outside sky, and kind of the ruins of the tunnel, multi-level and very wide kind of tunnel in that smashed space. And then beyond that is the kind of wall that is made up of all this melted sand and glass. And on the other side of that, presumably, is the continuation of the tunnel leading down into the warehouses full of war machines and stuff that you're trying to get to.
Yeah, well, I just want to phase through it.
Cool, you can totally do that. So let's see, I don't have a screen prepared for it, but basically, you teleport through and you find much the same scene on the other side, i.e. the kind of ruined and smashed highway interrupted by the layer of glass. Even in this area you're in, you can tell, even though it wasn't, once you get past the glass, the area still beyond that still has extensive damage. The tunnel's barely up and things, but you're able to kind of pick your way through. And let's see. Yeah, you pick your way through, and you find yourself greeted by a big, enthusiastic, cheering crowd of very real, not illusory, war machines in a big, large, like a hangar, basically, but kind of much larger with very high ceilings. That kind of descends down in several tranches and levels. Just basically like a huge multi-level car park kind of thing. That stretches off even this one compartment of it kind of stretches off into the distance. It's not very well lit, so it kind of disappears into the shadows. And you see just this huge collection of these war machines and tanks and stuff there. So they're like just kind of dancing around you and cheering and stuff. What other action do you take?
Well, just so long as I know where everything is now, that was kind of all I was interested in doing.
Okay, yeah.
I guess he just doesn't respond to anything, and instead teleports straight back. And they're all kind of just left there.
You might hear the remnant of them going, "Oh."
Now, don't they have weaponry there that might be able to remove the obstruction?
They do have weaponry, but they are not currently authorized to use it.
So I've just teleported back to the gang, and I guess we'll be teleporting everyone in, which I can do with a little effort.
Oh, nice.
Can you use one of your portals, maybe? Because then it would be like...
True. How big is this obstruction? I assumed it was massive.
Yeah, I mean the wall of glass is like at least, I don't know, 50 meters thick, something like that. Maybe less. Maybe call it 30 meters thick. And it's in kind of a bowl shape around the the surface of the crater, basically.
Okay, well I can absolutely do a wormhole then. So I just open one of those. Everyone can have a little wander through. Made a little door.
All right. So you open up this. You come back. You open up this portal in front of everyone, which leads through into this kind of cavernous, dimly lit space full of very enthusiastically cheering but currently trapped war machines.
I'll cast invisibility on myself and pass through the portal quickly behind everyone else.
Cool.
I
Okay,
can
so
see you, by the way.
What?
I can see invisible things
Can you? How?
because I've got true senses, and I can see
Is that-
through all illusions
She's
automatically with
known
no
all
roll.
this time.
Yeah,
I'm
but
imagining
that
though
doesn't.
that
Yeah, Minim might not say anything.
Yeah.
I'm
doesn't care.
imagining that's the case.
Well, I mean, you'd have to look at me first.
I also have total awareness, which means that I can basically see anything around me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that Minim
Big
does
weirdo.
indeed notice Rogorek, but since Rogorek doesn't want to be revealed at this point, I'm gonna say Minim probably keeps his weird porcelain
Well,
mouth shut about it. Unless you-
Minim doesn't know that everyone else isn't aware of him because Rogrek's been helping out, so he just thinks he's a party member.
Very nice. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so basically, I mean, I'm going to be slightly rushing things at this stage because of the time, but essentially, you get kind of crowded, and if you let them, kind of like crowd surfed basically by all these happy robots and stuff. It's a bit awkward because they're all like different sizes, but on the other hand, they do have manipulable arms and stuff like that. And let's say some of them have like force field kind of manipulators and stuff. So anyway, they
Nye is totally letting this happen and enjoy.
So basically, most of them are just like kind of ecstatic at just having watched this amazing battle and stuff, and being promised, this mother of all wars or battles. They're kind of incessantly peppering you with kind of questions about the kind of hardware they're going to be going up against, and like what the allies have and all that kind of stuff. Basically, I'm going to kind of assume that at some point you asked them, is there actually, screw it. Yeah, I'm just going to say you probably asked them about a way to activate their weapons. And they...
I hereby authorize you.
They just kind of look at you blankly and say, thanks. Anyway, to activate the authorization codes, and they carry on with their explanation, they say they need to get you... no, that was too flippant. They deeply bow in respect and say, thank you, great warrior. And then they continue with their explanation of how to actually achieve that. And they point you towards a, let's say, basically like a control room full of computers and stuff. Let's see. I think probably it sounds like Rogarek would be the most qualified to try and basically hack into this and try and authorize them to use their weapons. What kind of skills do you have in that direction now, Rogarek? I guess you have Numenera, right? So you must be specialized in that.
I only have trained.
Okay, let's see. I will say, actually, no. Sorry, ignore me. I'm just turning up thoughts in my head. Okay, let's just make this a straightforward intellect roll, basically, to try and hack into these computers and lift the authorization lockdown on these things. So this will be, let's call it difficulty 6. You know what? I think this is one of those situations where actually there wasn't much point in rolling because, you have a bit of, you got in here reasonably quickly and stuff. I think you're going to have enough time to hack into these things. I'm going to say that you've basically succeeded at this point.
It's basically like a take-20 situation,
Yeah, pretty much. So what happens is Rogarek takes his time. It takes him a couple of false starts, but maybe Stason helps with some percussive maintenance onto some of the control panels. And you basically manage to successfly, reassign all of these war machines and things back to active status. There's like a huge wave across the whole cavern of like clicks and whirs and thunks and like whines and stuff as all of their weapon systems at once reactivate, and they're
excited about that.
Oh yeah, they're like, oh my god, yeah! A lot of them just start like shooting wildly into the air, letting off like missiles and rockets and stuff that shoot up and like, blast the ceilings. Yeah, exactly. And they're like dancing around or whatever the equivalents are.
So Rogarek was like stealth hacking, I guess.
Yeah,
still invisible. So Station just thinks that beating the machines up worked.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like Rogarek's literally like invisible next to him the whole time, and Station's just like hitting things randomly until suddenly the lights go green, and all of the machines activate at the same time. So what after you manage to calm them down from their euphoria. You tell them more details about what they're going to be doing, and you say, you say basically something along the lines of, it's time to get out of here, and so they usher you away from the place where the tunnel is. A huge crowd of them like gather over, all trying to be the ones who are in the firing line to destroy the wall here. So you end up with them like. You've got this big mass of like tanks and stuff just kind of crammed together in this tunnel, and you've got like there's tanks who like roll up behind them and just like try and poke their gun through the big mass of robots so they can also get a shot, and they all there's the whole entire cabin basically does a countdown from 10, New Year style, 10, 9, 8, and then when they count down to 1, there's just this massive volley of explosions and shots and stuff. A good deal of the robots who at the front line taking the shots just get outright destroyed, but they do succeed in blowing a massive hole in the side of the crater here, and several, they're all really excited about that, but they clear a path for some engineer vehicles, basically, which start laying out like a metal framework, and then they spray with these fire hoses, this kind of epoxy that hardens and then gets smoothed down into a bridge, which repairs the highway. And again, you're all getting toasted and cheered and things ecstatically by these robots as there's just a river of tanks and war machines and things just swarming up the road and out into the desert, and all waving at the sky and things, and chattering at each other about the wrecks of the security droids that you destroyed and all that kind of thing. So you have succeeded. Any thoughts for a cool closing shot or scene?
I want to fly ahead of the whole crowd, come to me.
Yeah, they're all yeah. They're all because you took out. In fact, you basically took out both mechs with your fearsome attacks, and so they're perfectly happy to hero worship you. There is a little bit much shooting up into the sky around you, but it's all in good fun.
Right.
And
it's like that shot in.
I have to all swat it out of the air.
Yeah.
It's like that shot in BVS where Superman's just kind of floating above everyone, godlike, except it's Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, exactly. And,
Shaquilla's got a Superman tattoo.
Oh,
really?
Excellent.
Awesome. So you're floating up in head. Let's say Stason and whoever wants to, Barracks is kind of perched on top of the Stason-mobile too as well. He's kind of out the front and leading everyone.
Nye is sort of riding on top of Johnny Six and talking excitedly.
Oh, nice.
She doesn't know much about robots, but she knows about enthusiasm.
Mm-hmm.
And Rogarek, of course, is nowhere to be seen. Very nice. So yeah, I guess that's about it for the scene. Let's at this stage decide which place you want to go to next. So you make contact back with the church with the communication device they gave you, and they're ready to start setting up the warp. The list of places you have can be seen in the middle here.
Okay, so we've got 2 done. Is that right? Did
Yep.
we get the ultra-terrestrial beacon set and the armory?
Indeed.
So, Sleeping Titan or Mountain Barrage? Not sure if we're gonna go with the causal splitter yet.
I like the Sleeping Titan personally.
Yeah, I mean, so Mountain Barrage is kind of cool because I don't know. There's something incredibly cool about turning a mountain range into anti-aircraft planetary defense, but also it's that could be Nye territory.
Yeah.
I do like a mountain.
Yeah. Okay. So, any objections to going to the Mountain Barrage next?
No problem.
And sold. Cool. So they start getting you set up to go there, and let's say the sun is starting to rise in the background over this huge sea of machines, which is just still pouring out over the crater as you have a shot kind of posed in front of the sunrise, and then you just out of existence or out of sight.
You all died. Sorry.
You all died. Things
the revenge of Homo.
The world.
Yeah, that is it. Thank you all, as usual, very much for coming. Thank you especially to our new and returning players. I had a blast, and I hope you got on well with the system. If you have any questions about any of the mechanics, having played it for a session now, or if you want to be changing up any of your powers and abilities and all that jazz, you can do that. And now I think this week was tier 6+4, so that means as of next week, your advancements will be picking a new ability from pretty much anywhere in the book, as long as it fits with your character.
Right on.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah, I think, like I said in the chat, I'm pretty much up for this being like the end stage of a D&D campaign where it just gets completely bananas ridiculous and you can do all kinds of crazy shit.
Alright.